Yeah, I don't ever remember feeling like this. But I'm out here in these YouTube streets. So I want you to get your fingers.
I don't know what you're doing.
I want you to
right
get
now,
your mouse.
I want you to check me out.
And I want you to check me out.
Get ready to do this. It's the relationship rehab. Like, share, and subscribe. We coming at you live. So come on, let's take a ride. Then subscribe to United Guns of America. Just click that link and listen up to what I'm telling you. It's the relationship.
Click that link right now. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Brian Redmond, and I just want y'all to subscribe to my channel. You know what I'm saying? I want you to let me know what you think. I'm gonna talk about some things, you can talk about some things, and we can do our thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's all about having a conversation, right? I mean, if we can't talk to each other, then, I mean, what are we really here for? I want y'all to be able to just come over to my channel, talk to me about what's going on with you, and I can tell you what's going on with me, and we can build some things, you know what I'm saying? That's all about growth, baby. So click that link, go ahead and swipe on your phone, whatever you gotta do. Share my content. It's just get me out here, baby. Cause we just talking, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I like doing what I'm doing because it's about the people. It's about us having a conversation with each other. It's about us discussing whatever needs to be discussed. And on these YouTube streets, this is the best place to do it, baby. Like, share, subscribe. That's right. Click the link. Click the link. Yeah. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's out here that's already subscribed. You know what I'm saying? Cause y'all ain't the first one, and y'all ain't the last one. So I just want to give a shout out to everybody that click the link, that click the share, and then subscribe to your boy. Cause we gon' blow this thing together, baby. Relationship rehabbing, United Guns of America. To the world, blow up, baby. Yeah. Click the link, baby. Click the link, baby. Yeah. Hey, I just want to send a shout out to all y'all. I love y'all. That's why I do this. It's for the love of us, baby. I appreciate all of y'all. Ooh, we gon' do this thing. We gon' do this thing right here, baby. Hey, look, if you at a computer right now, just go ahead and click your link. What else you got to lose, baby? Tell me what you think. Hit the comment section. You can jump on the live panel. We do it all here. That's what it's all about. So come holler at your boy. I've been doing this for years, but I just got onto this YouTube thing. So hey, let's see what it do and where it can go.
To United Guns of America. Just click the link and listen up to what I'm telling you, telling you.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Brian Redmond, and yes, we are back with another show. I'm so glad to be here with y'all on tonight. I have been doing all kinds of stuff these past couple of days, and I got my green screen together. I did some work on my camera settings and stuff, so hopefully things are looking a little bit better. I can see that they are. It's good to be here. Please click that like button on your way in the door. I appreciate it. And I wanted to make a small observation and then ask a question after this. So everybody's been talking about Kyrie, and everybody's been talking about Kanye and Kyrie. Them probably the two most popular niggas in social media in the past couple of weeks. And I just want to ask this question because I don't understand what the whole thing is with not what's happened, but with us and what's happened. So we have somebody like Kyrie Irving who literally just mentioned and posted on his social media about a movie. And that movie, and I'm actually going to watch that movie now because the movie was actually just a movie. I guess it was entitled From Hebrew to Negro, I guess. So it's talking about, I would imagine, blacks, you know, at one point or another being Hebrew, and how we became from being called Hebrews to now being called Negroes. I don't know, but I want to see it now. I'm going to take a look at it and see what it's about. But thank you so much. And thank you, everybody who clicked that like button. I appreciate it. Shout out to Miss Joyce Posey. She is a platform supporter. Welcome. You are on a new level.
I'm on a new level. I'm on it. I'm on a new level. I'm on it. I'm on a new level. I'm on it. I'm on a new level. I'm on a new.
Appreciate that. But it was really something to see. And I was just like, well, if you just mention this and have all of this fallout where you got to apologize and what he did was so wrong and it was just the worst thing ever. It was anti this, anti that. Okay. And one of my friends, one of my close friends, he actually made a post today, and his post was so funny and thought provoking. It was one of the best posts I've seen. And the post simply read, "Man, y'all are acting like Kyrie Irving and Kanye West stole $5 million in welfare funds." And I saw that and I was tickled and I was so proud at the same time. Shout out to my boy Reese. I was so proud at the same time. And it's just like with all the things that's been going on, you know, and what Kanye said, what Kyrie have posted and what he said, it's all opinion. What Brett Favre has done is indeed and in fact a fucking crime, and nobody's saying nothing about it. The only person I've even heard talk about the shit, the egregious shit that Brett Favre did, is fucking Shannon Sharp. This motherfucker literally stole not just federal funds, but federal funds earmarked for welfare. He stole them. Him and some of his state friends, they literally conspired and they fucking stole $5 million worth of fucking federal funding. They stole it. And nobody's in handcuffs. Nobody's gotten any sentences or anything. And Brett Favre has literally just been not talked about. Ain't nobody in the NFL mentioned it. Ain't nobody in the news mentioned it. I mean, nobody's really talking about this shit. And it's amazing to me. Now, had Kanye West stole $5 million in welfare funds, I wonder what they would be saying. Just saying, if, let's say, I don't know, Kyrie Irving stole $5 million in welfare funding, I wonder what they would be saying. I'm just saying, it's just so odd to me that we will, as a society, we will see certain things and it will just consume us. And whether it's right or wrong, but then we'll see other things and we'll totally ignore it. Totally ignore it. And I'm saying like this. Brett Favre steals $5 million in his crew. They steal $5 million in federal funding that directly impacts low-income housing, the recipients of low-income housing, all of the stuff that pretty much a lot of black people, especially black people in Mississippi, need, and they're not talking about it. If you stole $2 out my house, I'm gon' bitch. I'm pitching a bitch. $2 out my house, I'm mad as fuck. You steal $5 million of funding that I could be benefiting from, and I ain't upset, and I'm low income? I don't understand it. You would think that it would be all kinds of niggas protesting in front of Brett Favre's house, talking about we gonna stay out here until we get justice. Nope. You would think that it would be all kind of niggas out in front of the courthouse, the Supreme Court of Mississippi, saying we want justice. Nope. You would think that all of the broke, low-income housing people in Mississippi would be marching the streets, going from Selma to St. Louis, back to St. Louis, and back to Selma marching. Nope. They ain't saying shit. But we then got the media literally in front of our very eyes trying to do whatever they possibly can to destroy not one but two of our wealthiest brothers, and we say nothing. I don't care if he was set up or not. I really don't. I really don't. Fuck him. Exactly. Fuck him. Fuck Brett Favre. He was involved. Plain and simple. And my thing is, if he was set up, then he should have been the first person at the FBI confessing and assisting the FBI. He wasn't, and the text messages and shit I saw said, hell no, that motherfucker was in it. He was in it to win it. He got paid, and he was trying to cover his ass to make sure he could get paid, and he was with the shit. So nope, I ain't letting him off the hook. It's like it's unbelievable to what we, and I'm not talking about. My expectation is not for white folks to be upset. My expectation is not for the media. My expectation for people to be outraged would be us. This directly impacts us, and we ain't saying a damn thing about it. I don't know. I don't see it on people's social media pages. I don't see it on people's lives. I don't see it on people's IGs. Ain't nobody saying cancel Favre. Ain't nobody saying shit about this man. Ain't nobody saying shit about this man. Tiberius, you need to do your research, because he didn't just use the money for his daughter alma mater, his school, to build a volleyball complex. It wasn't a court. It was a complex. There's a difference. The other thing that he did was he used the money and acted like he got paid for advertising. He got paid. He got paid. He got bread. It wasn't just, oh, we took all of these funds and just diverted it to this volleyball complex. Nope. 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 He acted like he was doing some advertising and some promotions and all that shit for their ass, and he got paid for the shit. Plain and simple. It's just like, man, we can find so many other ways to cancel people. We can find a million ways to just say anything and do anything possible to somebody that make us feel different, make us feel bad, make us not feel good, pretty much is the safe way to say it. But when we see someone actually commit a crime and there's evidence of that crime being committed, we say nothing. And this is why when people talk about things like the black community, when people talk about the black folks in the community and in the neighborhoods and the communities of the black folks, we the culture and all that, I don't believe it. I don't buy it. I don't support it. I don't roll with it, because I believe that it is a myth and non-existent. Just saying. We can talk about Michael Vick. Motherfucker talk about Michael Vick today. Motherfucker talk about Ray Rice today. Motherfuckers talk about their ass all day long. Motherfuckers to bring up motherfucking the shit that happened with Ray Lewis. They bring it up every chance they get. They do. You can't mention Michael Vick without talking about them damn dogs. You can't do it. Ray Rice, in his prime, lost his entire NFL career. His ability to feed his family and make money, he lost it. Brett Favre? He just stole $5 million. Pish tosh. It's amazing. But like I said, when we talk about all the other things, when people can go and troll me, when people can go and troll other content creators, and people can talk all this shit about you not being on code and you are a coon and all of this, it's amazing how all of the energy can be diverted to things like that. But we ain't got nothing. Ain't nobody got no smoke for Brett. None whatsoever. It's just amazing to me to see that. How we can just totally just say, all right, don't matter. Don't much matter. And we just move on.
We just move the fuck on. But it is what it is. But when I talk about, hey, how we have to do things for ourselves, think for ourselves, and all of that kind. This is why I say that. Because even when we have something that is put in our face, served to us on a silver platter, something for us to be outraged about, we do nothing and we say nothing. We don't protest, we don't march, we don't sing songs, we don't do a damn thing. But then you let a white cop shoot a black person and it's justified. All niggas ain't hearing that. Nope. Say her name. Nope. They shouldn't have did it. They racist and they need to be locked up. We need to get. He said a platinum EBT. You fool. You a fool for that one. UFO kamikaze. But it's like you'll see that, and we would just nope, can't shoot no black person, nope, not no white cop, nope. I don't care if he was stabbing his mama, you shouldn't have shot him. What did LeBron James at? LBJ, where you at? Where you at? When that girl got shot by the police, when she was trying to stab another girl in the motion of stabbing the other girl and got shot, LeBron James all over it. It don't take all that. You ain't got to do that. Why you do that? Oh, okay. Brett Favre steal $5 million from welfare folks. Nothing. Crickets. I need to get that cricket sound on here. But crickets. Nothing. Is what it is. But I digress. Let me see my screen. Your on-screen menu is glitchy. Yeah, I think I'm in the wrong one. I was actually trying to fuck with it, but it's hard for me. You know, I can't chew bubble gum and pat my head at the same time. Is that what they call it? Is it chew bubble gum? I can't rub my stomach and pat my head at the same time. There we go. Let me see if I can fix that, because I think I got the wrong one with the chat in it. So let me see, because there may be a fix. I did like a lot of shit today. I painted my wall from a green screen. I got I updated my computer. I updated my broadcasting software. I changed my updated my my extensions. I did a lot of shit today, so I could have very well missed it. And I did try to test it, but I could have missed it. So let me see if I can find the other one and see if that was my problem. Unless I've deleted that. I could have. That could have been the one that I accidentally deleted and didn't know what it was. I think so, because I don't even see it on here anymore, because I used to have two of them. Huh. Isn't that something? Well, in the meantime and in between time, let's go to my I don't even know what. Oh, I know what that is. Okay, yep, that's not it. Yep, I think I did. Let me try to change this, but I'm gonna go ahead and get started with this. So the show, and I'll try to fix it as I go along. But essentially, what I wanted to talk about, there's a YouTuber that I've actually stumbled upon one day going down the YouTube rabbit hole. Y'all know how that get. You start clicking on shit, and before you know it, 2-3 hours in past, and you sitting here like, damn, how did I get here? How did I get here? But that's what happened. And one of the things that I saw this girl. She has her own YouTube. She's grown, but she has her own YouTube channel. And uh, and one of the things that she talks about, and as me just watching it, she talks. She's basically like the female supporter of like
the whole manosphere men's movement type of thing, I guess, if you will. She's kind of like that person that is like a woman who agrees, and not only does she agree, but she brings other women and men onto her channel and actually like have conversations about it, which was kind of cool. But this and in this, a lot of stuff that she says is stuff that Tommy has said for years, and it's stuff that Kevin Samuels has said. It's stuff that Fresh and Fit say. You know, all of those people that's in that manosphere thing, they said pretty much. A lot of people that started saying the stuff and repeating the shit that Tommy said, you know, 6, 7, 8, 9 years before they started saying it is what she like supports. So I gotta call it like it is. It is what it is. But that's pretty much what happened. Well, I mean, what she does. But this was a little bit different to me because what I saw in watching this, it was more of a relationship type of thing as far as how we as not just men and women, but more so in particular black men and black women, even ones that are not from here, how we interact with each other and how we treat each other. And it was such an interesting dynamic that it made me want to do this show. So when you see this, and I want you to really the topic that they're speaking of, or the different topics and the different questions that they approach, that's one thing. But I want you to really pay attention to how the black woman in this video, how she interacts and treats the white woman, and how she interacts and treats the black man. Not just in certain moments, but just consistently throughout this show. Because what it really made me think about is just the idea of how when people say how much they love and black love is black excellence and all of that wonderful stuff that you hear people talk about, it really pulled back the covers to show just how bad we as black folks, African Americans, Africans of African descent, Americans of African descent, or whatever it is, whoever you are, the niggas in America, how we not only treat each other, but how it is more of a westernized woman man type of thing. But when it specifically comes to us as black folks, the way that we treat each other and interact with each other, it's like it's a fucking Skynet type of thing. It's like it's downloaded all the way across. It's like the fucking USSR robotics thing in fucking I Am Robot. The uplink is real. It just is. And it's like, it's so eye-opening, but it's also saddening as well, just to show that we are like truly, when it comes to relationships, at the top of the list when it comes to dysfunction. We just are. So this is the Caucasian woman. Her name is Pearl or something like that. And her channel is Just Pearly Things or something like that. I think that's what it's called. Just Pearly Things. So you can check her out. And then these other two here, these people were, I guess, were on her show or on another show, and they just came back. It was just them two. And I want you guys to see just like how this, once they get going and how it starts. And I'm going to try to see if I can fix that chat thing. But let's go ahead and let's play it. I'm going to fast forward past like the little. Yeah, fast forwarded a little bit.
I also think I think there's a difference between like maybe the US and the UK when it comes to like the way people interact.
Yes, we're louder.
Yeah, you guys are like louder and more like.
We're more enthusiastic though.
Like me and Gabby have been in situations where like telling a story to like British people, right? Mm-hmm. And we just get so into it. We'll be like, yeah, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
And like the British people in the room will be like, what is wrong with these girls?
There were a couple times where like, you know, people would be like, get to the point of the story. And I'm like, no, but you have to hear this. Yeah. Like, you have to know what I'm about to talk about.
You have to know
like,
the whole story.
You have to know the whole story.
The whole story.
Like, I have to be like, mind you, on this day, at this time, this happened. Like, you know, like I realize people are very like short, straight, and to the point. But I feel like that kind of loses the fun interaction behind, like social interaction, you know, like that kind of loses its genuineness behind it. Like, I feel like we don't have to rush conversation. We can have fun and like talk about things in detail because that that's what makes it fun. Like I'm a storyteller. Like I sure as hell I'm a storyteller. So if you ask me a question, I probably will give you a story behind it.
Yeah.
So, you know.
So question. I'm not sure because you say a lot of things that are very much like feminists, like feminists say them, but at the same time, you're not sure if you identify as a feminist, right?
Yeah. The reason why I have difficulty
Is that it?
pegging myself as a
Nope,
feminist
that's the same
is
thing. I think.
I feel like it.
Let me see.
I think society's viewpoint of feminism is extreme.
Okay.
You know, because oftentimes when we see feminists, it's the more extreme side of it, right? Like we could say the same thing for certain religions, races, whatever it may be. So in this case, like the social construct of feminism and equality or equity, like people tend to look at it in a negative way. And I'm very much an equal rights, equal lefts person, you know, like
Gotta stop.
if I see a woman is fucking up,
Equal rights, equal lefts. I swear to God, that was definitely one of Tommy Sotomayor's sayings. That's the first time I ever heard it. And I guess that shit has made it all the way across the pond. But it is what it is. I'm just saying, I got the hey. I got to give credit where credit is due. That was the first time I heard that shit. I heard it from Tommy. Just saying. I'm just saying, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I ain't heard that shit nowhere else. The first time I heard that shit was from him. Equal rights, equal lefts. Yes, that is Tommy Sotomayor. But like I said, you know how motherfuckers are. They will steal your shit and won't give you credit for your shit. And that's pretty much what that looks like to me. I'm just saying, but it is what it is. Yeah. Let me see if I can actually change this. I think this is a better chat. I think I'm just fucking with widgets right now, but I'm gonna try to fix it. All right, cool. Come on. Oh, what does this motherfucker say? Gifted subs. Oh my God. Oh, crispy baldy. Jesus Christ. Man, get a fucking life. My goodness. When does it ever fucking does it ever end? I'm just saying. Does it ever stop? Is there ever a point where the trolls would just say, you know what? I'm done. Damn. Okay, now this is actually screwing up. All right, so I can take this one out because I think that's what I want to do. And I want to put this one in. And hopefully I can fix that and let me start this back. Sorry.
I will call it out like it is. Like I fully believe in that because I feel like a lot of people do let women get away with BS that doesn't need to be happening.
Okay.
So I think that's the reason why I don't really come off as a feminist per se. I think I just really believe in
Like
this shit should be equal.
what kind of BS do you think that women get away with?
Sometimes abusing men. I feel like that's like the most basic thing that I could come up with now. Because like I said briefly in the last time that I was here, like my mom was abusing my dad straight up, but my dad couldn't really do much about it, you know, because like everyone's thinking like, oh, this poor woman, she must be getting abused by her man, so she has to fight back or something. Like, nah, it's not. It's really not like that. It's really my mom being abusive. And people would be very quick to take a woman's side in a case where she very well might be wrong.
Like the Johnny Depp case right now.
Yeah, that is a freaking mess. Like, we need to hold this woman accountable. She is a menace to society.
So what points do you agree with feminism on?
All right, I think
Like,
this is when
where
it
do you
started.
think what are we missing in 2022?
Don't you think like because feminism like came in waves, didn't it? So you have first wave, second wave, third wave feminism. So
I think it's kind of difficult to answer that because I need like an example.
right,
So
so
that I can say like, yeah, I agree or no, I don't. And this is why.
because like first wave feminism, I agree with
Okay.
personally. Women want equality. You want equal pay. you know, you want to be treated just as a man's treated, I'm down with that. I think the waves after that, it got progressively and progressively worse in my personal point of view. Like it, for me, feminism became not so much equality, but now about revenge. And I said on my show the other day, right, that,
and I kind of like don't like the way that this dude, he was, we, in this instance for men, we had a bad representative. I'm just going to call it what it is. It was like, he's kind of like the Herschel Walker for Georgia. It's like Herschel Walker, he was just a bad representative. It's like, it's just, that's just what it was. And it's like this, and y'all heard me say this, I've said this for years. I do not believe that there is a need for a feminist movement. I don't see that there is a feminist, a need for feminists when it comes to fighting for equal rights and all of that. I don't see anywhere in our country, and I will say just probably in Western civilization, where there is a inequality that is, you know, more so, or that women are more so treated unequally than any other group or any other race or any other gender. I don't see it. I do not see where you can say, hey, women don't get this and this because of this. There is a cause and effect as to just about anything that women are saying that they don't get, like the whole equal pay thing. It's a myth. It has been proven literally time and time again as to how equal pay is a myth when it comes to what it is that women have always tried to say. We don't get paid equally. Just like how when they talk about the WNBA, I could not believe that the women of the WNBA had the audacity to make the statement or to try to plead the case for equal pay in the WNBA. And it's like the whole thing with feminism, it's not a movement, it's literally female supremacy. Women want to be women that are feminists. They don't want equality, they want supremacy. They want to be superior to men, period. No matter how they try to shape it, they'll try to sugarcoat it one way and try, oh, well, it's really this. Nope. It is not about equality. It is about superiority. They want to be over men. They want to have access and have choice to every single thing that they want. And they try to make it seem like the reason why they don't is because of men. And that is not true. It's just not true. When you look at what is going on when it comes to the WNBA and they're asking for equal pay, I don't understand it. It's just like me having my own business and I have not made a single dollar as a profit. I haven't turned a profit in 20 years, but yet and still I find a way or make a case to increase my salary when I'm not making any money. Literally, for those of you who don't know, just in case you just have never thought about researching it or anything like that, the NBA, the men of the NBA, the people that dribble the ball up and down the court every day, they literally fund the WNBA, the entire shebang. It is all funded by the NBA. Their salaries, their uniforms, their all of that stuff. It is all funded by I was about to say the NWA, the NBA. Literally. So for a company, a business who for over 20 years has never turned a single dime in profit, basically y'all ain't making no money. Y'all cannot consistently sell out arenas. Y'all cannot consistently get viewership on TV. Women don't even go watch women play basketball. Women don't go watch women play basketball. There are plenty of sports that are men dominated and only men watch it. Men will see the shit, but oh yeah, that's our shit. We gonna watch this shit. Oh hell yeah. We want to watch this. I can remember when wrestling in its early growing years, only boys watched wrestling. Men were the only ones who watched wrestling. Women wasn't like, oh yeah, I gotta see Roddy Piper the Night Girl. They didn't. We were the ones that watched it. We were the ones that tuned in. We made the choice to view wrestling. We did. We was watching the Von Erichs. Wasn't no women trying to say, oh, I gotta see what Ivan Von Erich is doing. Nope. We were the ones that watched it. We were the ones that spent our time and our energy and our money watching it. And it grew into what it is now, but we were the ones that actually watched it. Before there were female wrestlers, when it was all women, we were the ones that watched that shit. So therefore, we were the ones funding it. It's just, it's insane to think that these women would want or expect, I'm sorry, it ain't the fuck what they expect a raise. They want to make what a LeBron James is making. A fourth of what LeBron James is making. Or what a Kyrie Irving is making. What a Steph Curry is making. Y'all ain't even got nobody who can even play on their level. But you want their level of pay? That's insane. That makes no sense whatsoever. All of those motherfuckers, every last one of them, should be getting a general base salary. Everybody make $79,000. Why is that? Because y'all don't fill no seats. I remember when the NBA started making that turn and people started getting those insane salaries, started signing them 8-year, $90 million deals. I remember when that started happening, and it was during the time when the NBA literally just had an incredible stretch. During those early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, those guys weren't getting paid like that. They were hopefully getting money from endorsements, but the majority of the league, their stars were not getting money like that. Motherfuckers like Dominique Wilkins wasn't getting no big-ass contract. They just weren't. Now, towards the end, in the late 90s, that's when they started getting them big-ass contracts. But a lot of those guys who made the game exciting and who made the game entertaining during that earlier years, they didn't reap the benefits of that. They didn't get those Penny Hardaway contracts, those Shaquille O'Neal deals and all that kind of stuff. Those were the first guys getting that kind of shit. At one point, there was a time when Michael Jeffrey Jordan wasn't even the highest paid player in the NBA. What is the boy name? There was a time I want to say either Tony Kukoc was making more money than Mike, or it was some other white boy that was getting paid. I can't remember who it was, but it was just insane to believe it and to think about it. But it's like, yeah, he was making way more money than them. They were making way more money than guys like Michael Jordan was. They were making way more money than Larry Bird. They was making way more money than all of those guys. It's just one of those things to where and I'm just talking about, like I said, now, of course, Michael Jordan was getting Nike money and money from Coca-Cola. And he was getting money from, everybody was giving Mike money. But as far as his NBA salary, he was subpar compared to his level of play and what he was he was the league. He wasn't just the ambassador of the NBA. Motherfuckers to this day is still talking about they need to make him the logo. Facts. They need to work something out with Jumpman and all that Jerry West shit. Man, fuck that. Mike needs to be the fucking logo. Ain't nobody, no other player ever to lace them up has had the impact on the game like Michael Jeffrey Jordan did. Even Jerry West know Mike should be the logo. That bullshit ass move they got Jerry West doing, whatever. I got it. I hear you. That can be the old logo, but y'all need to rebrand that shit, and there needs to be some Jumpman, nigga. That's crazy. But I'm just saying, when you're talking about the impact of what you bring to the table and what you're doing, if you ain't making no profit, how you even asking for more money? I'm just saying.
Feminism, this new form of feminism, has given women the power to be just like the most heinous man, or the most heinous men in history, right? You know, the abusers, the sexual abusers, the people that used to talk to people derogatory, but giving them the get out of not having accountability for doing it. That's what I believe feminism today has done. I believe you can say, you know what, fuck men, they're this, they're trash, they're blah, 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 and there's no accountability on your side.
But see, I feel like that's not true feminism then. I think that's just being a misandrist at the end of the day. Like,
That's something that's not spoken about enough, though. Misandry is not spoken about enough.
I agree.
I think that's like 90% of feminists today. If I'm being honest, like when I talk to most feminists, they have a slight disdain for men.
Yep.
Like even if I say, "Oh, we need men in society," like we argue.
Well,
And here's my thing. When you're talking about just men and you're talking about just the two genders, if there's so much more that women can say that, oh, I can do this because a man did it, I can do it too. If there was such a true just, oh, we're the same, if that's just what it was, then you would see a completely built, dominated, led 100% female society. City, state, country. There is no piece of land on the planet that is ran by, built by, created by, led by women. And I wonder why that is. Just as much as a feminine movement you could have and you started and there is, why wouldn't all of y'all get together and say, you know what, fuck this, we gonna go and we gonna take over St. Louis. And it's gonna be all women. Every woman that want to be somebody, we gonna come and we gonna vote. All the politicians are gonna be women. We gonna make all the policy gonna be made by women. All the police and everything gonna be all women. Why wouldn't they have done that by now? You're talking about what? Since the 1960s is when the feminist movement started. That's some 60 years ago. Easy. Why wouldn't they have started their own and done their own and built their own? It would be easy to do it if they could do it.
I believe in that because we need a balance at the end of the day. We're gonna need both men and women at the end of the day if we're gonna function properly, because there's some things that men can do and some things that women can do that the other gender or sex cannot provide.
You need.
If that is the case, then they would put it like this. You tell me, in a state, a city, country that was all women, predominantly women, you wouldn't even have to worry about getting men to be there because men would be flocking there. Now, there may not be a lot of alpha males there that's going to run shit or take over some shit, but there will be plenty of men, whether they're beta males or just cucks or whatever the case may be. You could get plenty of beta males and plenty of cucks out of the ABCs of men. You know, I say my ABCs of men, you have alphas, you have betas, and you have cucks. A, B, and C. You could get plenty of B and C labeled men into that arena, into that area to come and help and support these women in what they're doing. Just what it is. You could very easily do it. Why hasn't it been done?
Men to build stuff, if we're honest.
Yeah, no, I mean,
You mean like a shelf?
No, like the mic.
Like, what do you mean?
Like
like, are we talking about like building the shelf from IKEA? Like,
no, like the mic that you're using right now.
Boom.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like they run the
Boom. Hit him with the
Bing bang.
like the microphone you're using now. Man.
infrastructure of society. Like most, if men disappeared today, society would collapse. If women disappeared, it wouldn't. Outside of reproductive reasons.
Yeah.
I can agree with that, but I always bring it back to the foundation of what like these countries and infrastructure has been built on, right? So like,
Which is what?
when we look at like STEM majors, for example, a lot of engineering, all that kind of stuff, it's not woman dominated whatsoever. You
And it's like they always make this statement. There is no law. There is nothing that is keeping women from getting and doing these jobs. You know what it is? They don't want those jobs. These women want to pick the jobs they want, and they want top dollar for them. They want to go these women want to be teachers making $120,000 a year. That's what they want to do. Yes, I'm a elementary school teacher. I teach, first grade, and I make $147,000 a year. That's what they want to do. Right. Amanda said, I don't want a STEM job. She said, hell, I don't even want the job I have. But I'm just saying that's what they want to do. They want to go and be a secretary, whatever the case may be, and they want to be, I'm a secretary and I make $180,000 a year. The jobs that are available for these women to have so that they could have the higher paying jobs, they don't want those jobs. You don't see, I think it was Jordan Peterson that said it. You don't see women trying to go build skyscrapers. You don't see women wanting to be crane operators. Crane operators make $100,000 a year. Unbeknownst to a lot of people, crane operators make $100,000 a year. But women don't want to sit up in a crane however many thousands of feet in the air while the wind is blowing, operating that motherfucker for 9 hours. They don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. People don't even realize this. Here's another fun fact about crane operators. Crane operators, the few that are in existence, they're usually jobs that are literally passed down because there are not that many people trying to do that job. So literally, like if I'm a crane operator, more than likely my dad was or my uncle was. And because I grew up around it, I grew up in it, my dad taught me how to operate a crane. So there we go. At some point, I had to climb my ass up and take that motherfucking elevator up into that big ass crane when I'm on. So when you get a motherfucker building the Trump Tower, that motherfucking crane operator got to go up there. Oh, that's the real deal. He the best one in the game. That motherfucker's a quarter mile up in the air. He's the coldest one. They be like, oh man, that's oh yeah, he coming out here. Oh yeah, he's king shit. Motherfucking crane operator that comes to work and renovate the fucking Sears Tower. Can you imagine the shit that he has to do and has to know to be able to operate that crane now to sit on top of that motherfucker? That ain't just I go get my certification in 6 weeks and then I go through and I'm good. I go through a crane operator boot camp, take my test, and then they put me on a crane in 2 weeks. No.
Like, I don't know what the statistics are exactly, but I can guarantee you it's definitely going to be less than 30% of women in STEM or something. It's changed a lot throughout the last like 10 to 15 years. That's a guarantee. But before then, it was mostly men in these types of positions and majors and all that because women weren't really given an interest into it. They weren't really given a pathway.
But now that they are.
Did you hear that? They weren't given a pathway. Given a pathway. We didn't give them a pathway. Oh, so the men who created their own way, who made their own whatever it is, fill in the blank, The men that did that, they're supposed to now turn around and give it to women and say, oh, yeah, here, that thing that I worked my ass off of, that thing that started off in my mind is just a thought and became a dream and became a vision, and then I actually manifested it. Yeah, I'm just going to give that to you. She doesn't even understand the way that she's speaking and the words that she's using, how that matters in what she's trying to talk about as far as making her point. If it is so easy for women to do and to be able to do the same thing that men can do, why isn't it that women create their own thing? Nations do it all the time. Countries do it all the time. Hell, even religions do it all the time. The way that the Nation of Islam is and the way that the Christian church is, two different things. They built their own thing. We believe this way, we're going to build it. Christians, we believe it this, and we're going to do it this way, we're going to build it. That's just what it is. If it's that easy, why not just do it yourself? Why would you need for us to give you anything? If we're dominating a particular field and there is no there's no law and there is no movement to keep you from entering that field, why not? Another fun fact that I learned from Tommy Sotomayor. If women are the most or the highest enrolled, black women are the highest enrolled in college, why would they not go into those STEM fields so that they could then get those STEM jobs so that then they can have those STEM pay checks? Why would they not do that? If you know that's where the money is, if you know that's where, regardless of what you say, well, we're not there, we're not represented well in this category. If you're not represented well in that category, then why not go and do that thing? There was a time when there weren't as many women doctors as there are today. Today, they have the most female doctors ever is now in today's world. There's never been as many foreign doctors from the Middle East, doctors from Asia. You've never had this many doctors from different countries today than you do today. Paul, there's still hope for you, man. You guys got to get out there, bro. Get on out there, man. You can still do it.
Enjoyable. Yeah, and it's great that we're in it now, but
now
not everybody
are.
is.
No, but now
That's
they are.
the thing,
They're not choosing them. They're not choosing it. Women generally aren't choosing the STEM fields.
Like, who, do you
I feel like I know a lot of women in STEM, but I can only speak from
statistically,
my own
they're not
personal
choosing
thing.
it.
Yeah, it's just like the numbers don't back that up. So because if they did a study where they took the countries that have the most choice when it comes to like jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you take like more, like Middle Eastern countries where women have less choice, and you take more egalitarian countries where women have more choice. And the more choice that women have, like the more they choose jobs that have to do with people and not things. Because women, like, we value relationships more.
Yeah.
So you'll see more women going into like medicine and like
midwifery
nurses.
and
What?
like there's gonna be a mid.
That motherfucker said midwifery. I don't know if that's a thing, if that's the right word, but women aren't just going into midwifing. Like, all 12 of us gonna go into midwife. I don't see that, but whatever. The point is, like I said, we had a bad representative in that respect. But here's another dynamic I wanted to point out. Do you see how the host of the show, how everything that she's talking about, she speaks about from a factual standpoint, and how the black woman, everything that she's speaking about, she's starting it out with I feel. Nothing wrong with talking about your feelings. But when you're trying to state a position and you're trying to make a point and you're trying to be, I guess, if you say you feel some kind of way, you should then have some type of facts to say why you feel that way. And none.
Midwives and social care.
And realistically, though, that's because that's our strength. You know, we have a nurturing kind of nature to us that men oftentimes cannot provide at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So like, I see nothing wrong with women not stepping into STEM.
I don't understand that. I don't understand that. You talking about we don't nurture the same. I can maybe agree with that, but we're two different genders. But I don't see where one, like, men cannot nurture their children. I don't see that. It's like, and I don't understand why that's like that has been a thing in our culture, to where, and women say it so freely now, like, you know, oh, men can't do this when it comes to, you know, something that involves nurturing or raising children and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, no, we just do it differently. But I don't see where, you know, I would say that, oh, my wife is so much more loving to our children than me. No, that's not true. That is not true. We're different as far as parents, as far as men and women, and mother and father. We're different in that respect. But I don't see to where, you know, we're, you know, I'm like less loving to my children or less nurturing to my children. I just do it in a different way. I don't get that, but we say it so freely, and it's like, as much as people try to say and talk about equality and all that kind of shit, it's so easy for women to just discount what a man does, as far as, especially when it comes to those things that women more so do. You know, it's like, I don't like to clean a house. I don't like to clean house. That don't mean I can't. I don't do dishes. That doesn't mean that I can't do dishes. I usually don't do the laundry. That doesn't mean that I can't do the laundry. I mean, and it's like when women talk about men, they can just instantly say that, and it's just looked over like, oh, well, yeah, you know. Right. Alexander said, I don't piece standing up. I mean, they're just things that men, you know, as far as our roles are concerned, yeah, we can have those roles and say, hey, this is the part you play. This is the part you play. It's like being in sports. You know, Carmelo Anthony doesn't play defense. That doesn't mean he can't. He doesn't play defense. Does not mean he can't play defense. That's just what that is. It's like there's a big difference between the two. Just because you don't do something does not mean that you can't. Now, what it is that my wife does in our household, it is 1000% beneficial. She is 100% an asset to the running of our household when it comes to the maintenance of the house, the children, the raising of the children, the things it takes to get our children together every morning. My wife is the first one up in our house every day. She is an asset in that regard. But if my wife go on a girls trip, or if my wife go out of town, or if my wife go see her mama or something like that, it ain't like all that shit stops. And it just, oh, well, you know, you was gone, so we just didn't do that. I just didn't feed the kids, you know, because you was gone. But in our culture, it's like we just mention shit like that. For the longest time, it was always made to think or made to believe that, you know, if it wasn't for women, men wouldn't know what the fuck to do when it came to doing certain shit around the house or taking care of it. You're like, it's even in the media, on TV shows and shit like that. They make men look like dumbasses when it comes to, you know, raising the kid or taking care of the house or something like that. Like we just fucking can't. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. I like the fact that we can be partners and we got our certain roles in the things that we do better. Yeah. Hey, that's what you do. My wife can pick out our children's clothes way the fuck better than I can. Doesn't mean that I can't.
More than before. Like it's okay. I do agree with you in that sense that, like, Hey, man.
So then, if you believe in like equal, or if feminists believe in like equal opportunities, right? You don't equal opportunity doesn't equal outcome.
We talked about this briefly. I agreed.
Yeah.
I agreed with that fully. I'm the type of person where it's like, if you can't step up to the plate and deliver, it's not for you. Point blank, period. Like, and if you really want to continue whatever field you're going into, by all means do so. But you're going to have to work twice as hard, you know? And especially if you're a woman, you know, and in a male-dominated situation, you might be looked at a little bit more crazy. So what do you think like feminists are really fighting for in 2022? Because I just like genuinely bottom of my heart, I feel like as a woman, I'm not oppressed at all. I don't think there's anything stopping. I'm in a very male-dominated sector of YouTube, and I think being a woman's an advantage, not a disadvantage.
Your subscribership keeps going up and up and up.
Yeah, like I honestly, I've always been in like male-dominated fields. I worked in sales, and my mom was also in a male-dominated field, and we've always said no, it's an advantage, because you stand out more.
Okay.
So I can't think of anything, like any rights that I don't have in 2022.
Well, if we look at what's
Clearly articulated her point, stated the facts, gave examples, factual data to show and support what it is that she said.
going on now, especially in like a couple of states like South and Westward, at least in the US, there's a lot of bodily autonomy issues that I think like
so abortion,
yeah, like things like that, exactly. But then there's also like cases where gynecologists, male gynecologists specifically, will impregnate women with their own sperm, like crazy things like that. Like I think
how often does that happen though?
It does
exactly, and this is one of the many I guess tactics that a lot of left liberal feminists use. Not just saying they have to be that check all three of those boxes, but people that check one of those boxes, these are the kind of things that they do. They go and pull an outlier that is like a 1 in every 10 millionth of a chance of something happening, and they try to use that as the point that they're making to say, yeah, this is what's going on. She just brought up what she just said about, hey, I'm in a male-dominated field. It's a lot of men that do what I do in the specific, and even more so in the specific sector that I'm in. They do this and they talk about this, and this particular topic and genre that I'm talking about, it's all male-dominated, but yet and still, I got a very large channel. I think she's over almost at like 700,000 subs. Pretty big channel, I'm just saying. And she's just talking about the different shit and all that kind of stuff that she does. She said even when she was in sales, she gave another example. This woman now talks about in the southwest part of the country, there's so many things going on with bodily autonomy and stuff like that, where they got gynecologists impregnate women with their own sperm. Like that's just randomly, rampantly happening in the fucking world. In this fucking country. Hell, even in a fucking state. Why would you bring that up to make that point?
It doesn't matter how often it happens. The problem is that it happens at all. And it happens enough for us to talk about it and we know about it.
I don't advocate for it. I don't advocate for it.
Okay,
but,
wait.
Talking.
Okay, finish your sentence.
Yeah, go on.
Done talking.
Okay. Finish your so.
In general, I think the fight for feminism now mostly revolves around sexual assault.
You see the fact that he like negated her point, what she went to. I wasn't done talking. Just say, hey, why do we always have to be so extra and flamboyant in just the simplest things to just say? Say, hold on, man, let me finish. Hold on. Oh, wait, just let me finish what I'm saying and get to my point. But just watch.
Or any type of domestic violence and bodily autonomy. I think that's what we're mainly pushing for, at least. Okay.
And what were you going to say, Sarah?
Yeah, because like I obviously I don't advocate for, gynecologists impregnating their patients.
Yeah.
But listen, anomalies happen. That's I would guess that's an anomaly. When it comes to bodily autonomy or abortion. I personally have very strong views on abortion. I don't believe in abortion. I don't believe women should be able to kill children in their womb just because they made a mistake sexually. I don't. Like, I feel like if you make that mistake, that's your mistake. That's your burden to handle. You know, I don't believe that you should be using abortion as contraception, because prior to getting pregnant, you have multiple ways as to not get pregnant. You know, there's multiple ways not to get pregnant. And if you have chosen for whatever reason not to do that, then that baby's yours. And not only yours, it's also the guy that you were having sex with.
I fully understand, and I agree with you to a certain extent. The issue here is that I think a majority of the time that abortion does happen, it's not just because somebody was willy-nilly just being sexually active and did a whoopsie daisy.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. The greater majority of the time, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's like there is no, oh, well, this happened and there, oh, I got raped. There isn't any, that's not the majority of the abortions that are taking place. And that's why I changed my position on abortion. That's exactly why. There are so many ways for you not to get pregnant that it doesn't make sense for you to get pregnant by mistake. It's like pulling the trigger on a gun and then saying, I made a mistake and I didn't think that this bullet was going to come out when I pulled this trigger. So I want to call time out and put this bullet back in the barrel and back through the barrel and back into the shell and back into the magazine. Accidental discharges happen every day. However, it is not a thing to where people say, well, I didn't know it was going to shoot. Nope. They always trace it back and say, yeah, I had my finger on the trigger. I thought it was empty. I thought I emptied the gun. I thought I emptied the chamber. I thought the gun was clear and I pulled the trigger. I was holstering the gun and didn't pay attention to I wasn't executing or demonstrating proper trigger discipline and did not know or didn't realize my finger was on the trigger. But we all know that when you put your finger on the trigger and pull it, that motherfucking gun is going to go bang. Same thing with being pregnant. You know good and goddamn well when you begin the process of having sexual intercourse that there is a very good chance that you could get pregnant. Even if you want to say 50-50, that's more than enough. If you say 60-40, 70-30, it's still enough for you to take every precaution, because you would look at it and say, well, if this does happen in that 1 out of the 99 chance of this happening, here's the fallout. Just saying. So why in today's world, when you have so many different ways of so many different forms of contraception, why would you not practice safe sex and have some type of contraceptive in place if you choose to engage in sex? We all know that the only foolproof plan is what? Abstinence. Other than that, you fucking around and you're taking a chance. Small chance, big chance, whatever. You're taking a chance. So if that is the case, why not prepare for it? That's just like saying, hey, every time you get in a car, you can have an accident and you can die. However, when you get in the car and don't put on the seatbelt, you're kind of asking for the worst of the worst. If the worst does happen, you're asking for the worst results. You ain't have no seatbelt on? No, man, I ain't have my seatbelt. All right, there it is. That's just what it is. So why would you put yourself in that situation? If you want to have complete autonomy of your body, great. But when it comes to the responsibility and the weight of having to go through that process of either having a child or having an abortion, why would you not put yourself in the best position to where you don't have to make that decision? And just make it all willy-nilly. It's my right. I could just be able to kill whatever I want to kill. But why put yourself in that position? Because I've yet to hear a woman say, oh, having this abortion was just the greatest thing ever. I had such a good time. It was a party going on in the room, and we just enjoyed ourselves. We was laughing and kikiing, girl. We had champagne. We was doing a paint and sip while they was having my abortion. It's the mental taxation, the emotional taxation, and the toll that it takes on a person, not just physically, but mentally. It's more than enough to say you need to be in the best situation possible and protect yourself. If the man or the woman that you choose to sleep with is not the person you want to be the father or the mother of your children, you should be addressing that accordingly.
Yes,
Like,
it actually is.
I think it is.
It actually is.
I actually
Only. Okay, so I'll give statistics. So about
which country are we talking about? The UK?
the US and the UK. 1%, about 1 to 2% of abortions are because someone was either raped or molested.
Boom.
Right? The other, there's I think maybe 5% because the contraception didn't work.
Okay.
The rest of them is because people wanted to have sex.
And
So let's just be nice and just say 95% of them. 95% could literally be situations to where some discipline and some sexual responsibility would alleviate this whole idea, this whole argument, this whole issue.
And
I'd
they
like
made
to
mistakes.
know where you got these statistics from.
I'll
There
get
it
them for you
is.
because I did it on my show.
Okay, don't be shy. Pull out your phone.
There it is.
Should I pull it on
Don't
my
be
phone?
shy.
You see what she does? She doesn't have any facts. She doesn't have any statistics to contradict what he's saying. So what does she do? Well, where'd you get your facts? It's just like when you be talking to pro-blacks and those pro-blacks, and when you bring up statistics, the first thing out their mouth is what? Them the white man's numbers. Okay, well, what a black man's numbers at? Them is white folks' statistics. Those are, so you mean to tell me, brother, that you're willing to believe the white racist statistics or the statistics of your oppressor? You mean to tell me you gonna believe that? Okay, do you have some, sir? Do you have some statistics? Where you get your statistics from? The Onion? Like, really? It's like, come on, man. They always do that.
No, I think it'd be like we're this is a like we can always because Cheska, like honestly, every girl I know that's had an abortion, they were irresponsible. Like they weren't even on birth control or pulling out.
So
I'm
in
like,
that
y'all
case,
are
I
wild
understand.
then.
No, in that case, I fully
Yeah.
understand because like my dad raised me to believe the same thing.
Yeah.
Like he was like, listen, at the end of the day, if you feel like you're grown enough to get sexually active,
Yeah.
you better put on your big girl panties and know what might come out of it.
Right.
So I fully agree with that. But
Yeah.
in a case where somebody is assaulted or
Yeah.
incest or anything like that.
So would you, if there was a law that said it was only in the case of assault or rape that abortion is allowed, would you agree with that then? Like, because I think
It's hard to like say whether or not I would agree with it. I feel like to a certain extent I would, but then it's still controlling women's bodies and what choices they get to make. That's the other problem that I'm struggling with. It's like,
Yeah.
this is where I struggle with figuring out whether I'm a feminist or not.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yes, I fully believe in bodily autonomy. I believe that we should be able to make the decisions that we want to with our bodies. However, a line can be drawn, you know, especially when it comes to abortion. Like,
So
that
from
is-
sorry to cut you, from the Guttmacher Institute, it says 13%.
what?
Now, he could have let her finish her point in all fairness. He could have let her finish her point before he cut off and gave his statistic. He really could have. And in just the art of conversation, that would have been the polite thing to do. But like I said, we didn't have the best representative, but hey, at least somebody was there, I guess.
That's what it is. They do like white papers all the time. Can you pronounce it? It's a German organization. It says that
German organization.
well, German. It says 13. It's in the US.
Okay.
From the US, right? It says 13%. So it's 13% was because of the pill.
Okay.
So 13% of abortions, they said the women were saying, I was on the pill and it didn't work. So 13%. So if we've got 13% because of the pill, and then we've got 1% because of grape, that's only what? Let's say 15%.
Yeah.
So let's say the majority, 85% of abortions.
And that number is high. And here's my thing with the pill. How can you prove that? Because to my knowledge, and I'm just saying, I don't know everything about, female contraception, but isn't it true that you have to keep taking, you have to take the pill every day at about the same time? You're not supposed to like miss days or skip days or something like that, because that could definitely fuck up and you could definitely become pregnant, especially somebody who is very fertile. So it's like, I know for a fact that women forget that shit all the time. I know that for a fact. Women forget that shit all the time. But I'm just saying, if that is the case, then even that 13% would be skewed. Now, what I say, well, it's really 0%. I'm not saying that because ain't nothing perfect. But I'm just saying 13%, in my opinion, that's a pretty big margin of error. And I don't see the pill being that faulty without other circumstances interfering with that. I just don't, because you have to take that pill on time every time in order for it to be 100% or that 99.7% or whatever that percentage is effective. You have to be consistent in it. Just saying. And if you're not, then this is what could potentially happen.
Because of bad sexual practice.
Yeah, but then we'd have to bring it back another step. We'd have to think about the sexual education system then, because it's like, why are people having children so willy-nilly then?
Right.
Why are they so comfortable with?
Did you notice?
That's not a sexual education thing. That is what, and my wife always uses this. That is a parenting issue. That is a parenting issue. And when you look at things like the Black community, that's a parenting issue. And that's why you have so many, and in general, usually a teenage pregnant mom, a single teenage pregnant mother, if she has a girl, will usually be a single pregnant teenage single woman, will become a pregnant single teenage mother as well. The cycle continues. That's just what it is. That's a parenting issue. That comes from, it's not a sex education issue. That is a parenting issue. In today's world, with the ability and the power that these phones have, there is no, I didn't know that I could get pregnant by having sex. I didn't know that. I didn't think I could get pregnant on the first time, not with these. Maybe 40 years ago, you might have got away with it. Today, nope. Nope.
Interesting. We have more access to contraception.
Yep.
And more access to sexual education and more out of wedlock pregnancies.
There
So
you
what
go.
does that say about the society?
So then where is the evidence that sex ed and contraception
Actually
has been
works.
helpful?
Mm.
Like, it seems like, if anything, it's had the opposite effect.
Here's the thing: just because we have more access to it doesn't mean that it is successful. Right. So a lot of, like, we have to think about, like, again, I can only speak on the U.S. terms because I don't know the school system anywhere else. But when you look at the school curriculum state by state, they're all wildly different. Like, if you look at Texas versus New Jersey, we're learning two completely different things, prioritizing different things at least. There are a lot of schools out there that bark at students to practice abstinence rather than safe sex, right?
Now, she's right. It is different. However, going back to the point I just made, That is not the responsibility of the schools. That is a parenting issue. That is the responsibility of your parents. And it's like this. This is another thing that I had to change my mindset with this as well. The idea of our school system, the idea of our government system being the ones to take care of us when it comes to our life decisions and teaching us about life, that is the responsibility of your parents, not your government. That is the responsibility of your mother and father, not the school system. The school system is there for your general education, teaching you math, science, English, those things. Technology. So yeah, my mama shouldn't be teaching me about motherboards and processors and the parts of a computer. No, unless that's what she does. That's the responsibility of, that's the education system that does that. My school should not be teaching me about my morals and values as a human being and what I should be doing as a person and the decisions, the life decisions that I make as a young adult and how that will affect me as I become an adult. No, that's the responsibility of my parents. You see, I put the S on that. Not just the weekend daddy and the everyday mama. I'm talking about my parents. Teach me that part. That's their responsibility.
And we already know how young teens' minds go.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be like, oh, but I really want to do it.
Yeah.
Why can't I do it?
I went to one of those schools.
Yeah.
But to be honest, there were no pregnancies in my school.
Yeah.
None.
I mean,
bing bong.
And so like, I just, that's why I don't really buy into like the sex ed thing, because if that was true, like we would be running crazy with pregnant kids, because all we had every year was an abstinence speaker. And honestly, like it helped. Like I was a virgin until I was like 19, 20, and that was later than most, like people,
Yeah.
you know.
And here's the thing, that is something that has gotten progressively worse. Absolutely, private school is better because you get a better quality education because you're paying a tuition and you get better quality teachers. Now, you do have some public schools that are very good in certain areas, but private education is the best way to go. The only thing better than private education is educating your kids at home. But my thing is this. Well, a good educator that does homeschooling and things like that, yes, for your general education. But my thing is this, is what she's saying. She just said, yeah, that didn't happen at my school. And I can tell you this. In my school, when I was in elementary school, there was one girl, that was rumored to have gotten pregnant, and it was at the end of my 8th grade year. One. And we're talking about that. I graduated from elementary school in 1988. There was one. Look at elementary schools today. You have girls that are 10, 11, 12, and definitely 13 years old that are not just getting pregnant, they having the baby. Brenda's got a baby. Well, not today. It's Laquita got a baby. I hear Laquita's got a baby. Laquita's barely got a brain. I'm just saying, that's just what it is now. Why is that? Because you have what? Far more single parents than you did back then. That's just how it is.
I mean,
but like I think that really also depends on the culture of like where you're from, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're from a more conservative area, I think naturally it might be more like that. But I'm from a more liberal area, so
nope. My neighborhood was not conservative. They were very liberal. It was, hey, Democrats and liberals in my neighborhood. No, it was the parenting structure. It was the family household. We still had quite a few mothers and fathers in the same home together. We just did. And that is one of the things that directly impacted that. Because the girl who got pregnant in 8th grade, she did not have both of her parents in the household. I'm just saying. Not saying that would have made a difference, but it probably would have made a difference. We always try to make it seem like, oh, well, it really don't matter. Bullshit, it does. I would have been a much better student. I would have been a much better kid, and I would have had a much better young adulthood if my father would have lived in the same house with me, because he would have seen the fuck shit I was trying to do every day. He would have seen it. He would have been there every day, but hey, man, hell no, you ain't about to do that shit. I do it right now with my kids. Hey, man, I tell my son all the time, hey, man, what you doing? No, stop it. Just saying. Calvin says, Brian, not making any excuses, but a lot of funding for programs have ended, or they say there is no money. That's the problem. You should not have to have programs and fundings for a family to exist. That is a personal life decision. Stop having children out of wedlock. There shouldn't be any funding or program to stop that. That is a choice. That is one of the biggest things that impacts the future of a child, and therefore a community, a neighborhood, a family. It impacts that. That same kid that grow up not having a daddy in the house is the same kid that's more likely to go to jail. Is the same kid more likely to become a career criminal. Is the same kid more likely to not excel in school. Is the same kid more likely to not go to college. It's the same kid that's more likely to fill in the blank with negative shit. It's just what it is. It's the reality that we as a society don't want to accept, but all of the other cultures that do and understand that, they're all way more successful than blacks. And hell, even in that matter, than poor people.
My school personally didn't have like teen pregnancies like at all, but I know a couple of neighboring schools that did have issues with that. And it's like their sex ed, classes weren't necessarily the best, on top of the fact that most of them were from lower income areas.
So I'm just curious, like, what would good sex ed look like to you? So like, what would, if you were in a perfect, like, Cheska gets to make the laws, like what
You're really putting me on the spot today.
No, well, I'm just curious, like, what would that look like for you?
I would want students to know every single available option that they have, because I don't think people realize how many options they have for contraception.
Okay.
Right?
What age would you teach it?
Well, I started learning sex ed in 5th grade. I think that's...
I don't know what that is. What age is that?
Oh, God.
That's about like 10 or 11 years old.
That's a little young for...
I mean, you say that now, but
that's the thing.
they're giving...
You could get your period as young as 9 years old. Okay. So you kind of have to do that,
They're giving talks in schools now about transgenderism at like 8. So,
that's
I don't know.
Okay, so you would put... So in 10, 11, that's
I'd probably go for about that age range, because that is exactly when our bodies start changing rapidly.
So, and you would tell them, like, okay, if you had, like, this is what sex is from the school.
Yeah.
And you would, from the school, say, these contraceptions, this is what you can use.
Yeah, like, this is what happens out of sex. I think the problem is that oftentimes school really just, like, looks at sex from a very scientific perspective, and they expect the students to learn the more emotional aspect from their parents, but we can't really trust.
So I'm just curious, like, so you bring in 10, 11-year-olds and you would say, this is how to have, like, this is
not how to, this is what sex is.
So, but in other words, like,
later on.
But like how to have sex.
I wouldn't want my school, my child's school, teaching her anything aside from the biological aspects of sex education. I would not want my school teaching. I don't give a damn how great of a teacher she has. I don't give a damn how great of a teacher my son may have. That is a parenting issue. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. That is a parenting issue. You should not, I don't want no teacher. I don't want no counselor or nothing talking to my child about sex. I don't. The reproductive system, that's biology. I'm okay with that. But going into what it is to have sex, how sex happens and why sex happens, and the decision you get to make to have sex is up to you. I don't want nobody else teaching my children that but me and my wife. That's it. Because what my kid is going to learn from me and my wife, I know damn well that my kid is also going to go, my children are going to go on the internets and talk to their friends and everything else about it. But I want to establish the foundation of that with my children. I don't expect the school to do it. Hey, I don't even want the school to do it. I will make sure that I get to that road first, and I will lay the foundation to that whole entire thing. So whatever they learn in school, they can be like, that ain't what my daddy said. Or they can be like, my mama told me that. They will be able to have a foundation to compare what it is they're learning from their friends, what they're seeing in books, what they watching on TV, what they seeing on movies, what they getting off the internet, whatever the case may be. They will have a foundation already on which to judge that on.
Way.
I mean, yeah, but like
the thing is, I had that conversation with my son the other day, and he's 9.
Okay.
I just asked him, as a matter of fact, has he heard of what sex is? And he's like, yeah, it's when people kiss. And I was like, okay.
That's exactly why the education is necessary.
Okay, it's when people kiss.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So the thing is that at this age, children, unfortunately, are being exposed more so to what sex is, or sexual type, even sexual type language. It is being used within schools nowadays. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think it's just nowadays. I think it's even from when we were young, and even some of our parents' generation. You look at cartoons and TV shows and all that, always see these like subliminal messages, like
oh my god,
all the time. Like they were always dirty.
The Powerpuff Girls. Can we talk about the mayor? Can we talk about the mayor?
Have you not seen that? There's a YouTube clip about the cartoons.
Yeah,
they've made a cartoon clip of all the cartoons when you were young that had sexual innuendo, and they've put them all together. And watching it, you're like, this is what I was watching. This is some crazy shit.
Like, I will never forget SpongeBob pulling out some soap and telling Gary, like, don't drop them, because like they were acting like pirates, and he's like, look, doubloons, and like, and it's like, not only are we bringing in a sexual assault joke, but also jail. Like,
but what's Disney doing now with the cartoons, right? There's a whole thing about Disney bringing in the whole trans thing with the cartoons and that whole thing. So I just think, I don't know, I think children are being exposed to
but I mean, what's wrong with that though? I'm trying to understand.
I think you should protect kids' innocence, honestly.
Yes.
Because once
but what's not innocent?
Here's the thing. This is the golden rule. You don't let children make adult decisions, and you don't put children in adult situations. It's very simple. It is very simple. It is very, very simple. I'll say it again. You don't let children make adult decisions, and you don't put children in adult situations. Absolutely. Talking to you too, talking to D Wade. If he'd only followed that golden rule. It's that simple. I just saw a video today about a girl who was taking puberty blockers and had surgery. She had a double mastectomy at like 13 years old or something like that as a kid. A mastectomy means she had her breast removed because she wanted to be a man. And now today, as an adult, she is literally trying to sue those doctors that did that to her for malpractice because she said, as a child, I should not have been able to make that choice, and I should not have been told by doctors that I could be a man. And that's what doctors told her. Goes back to my golden rules. You don't let children make adult decisions, and you don't put children in adult situations. It's just that simple. Whatever it is that happens, whatever it is you're talking about, when it comes to kids, if you use those two things, you pretty much be all right. You'll pretty much be all right. My 5-year-old or my 11-year-old, my 13-year-old wants to be a girl. You don't let children make adult decisions, and you don't put children in adult situations. My 14-year-old wants to consent to sex. You don't put children in adult situations. Just what it is.
About being
sex?
transgender.
Hey,
no,
thank
I'm
you,
looking at
CJ.
Oh,
his.
you're talking about trans.
Because
Yeah.
because transgenderism is like, it's an anomaly, right? And it's like children.
It's not that much of an anomaly if we have to talk about it, is my point, though.
Yeah,
like,
but children. All right, so. But children shouldn't be taught about, in my personal point of view, shouldn't be taught about sex at a young age anyway. Especially not a sexual orientation that, in my personal point of view, is about confusion more so than sexual orientation. So it's like, are you trying to show children that this sexual orientation is quote unquote normal, where if we look at it, it's first of all, it's an anomaly. Second of all, they talk about it can be a.
But why does it matter whether or not?
Hang on, it can be looked at as a psychological or physiological, because they say gender dysphoria. Explaining to a 9-year-old child what gender dysphoria is, they don't know what
you
gender
don't have
dysphoria
to do that,
is.
though. You could keep it simplistic, is my point. You have to keep it kid-friendly.
But the thing is, transgenderism isn't simplistic.
If my kid today at 9 years old wanted to be a boy, I would literally respond with, well, tell me why, sweetheart. And if that's what she said, I said, okay, whatever she told me. Okay, I understand. There's nothing else that would be done as far as saying, oh, well, we got to go get you some testosterone shots, and we got to go and get you, and we got to go. Nope. Because that kid could turn right back around and 2 months later and say, I want to be a zebra. Just saying. I'm not going to make a path for my child to just say, oh, we just going to jump off into this thing that is directly in contradiction to your biology. My child is biologically a female. I am not going to, at 9 years old, try to turn her into a boy because she said she feel like she wants. I cannot tell you how many girls in me growing up in my neighborhood that were what we call tomboys. They like to play baseball. They like to play basketball. They like to play football. And those same girls, as they got older, they stopped playing basketball. They stopped playing football. They stopped playing baseball. And they started playing with balls. Just saying. There's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. I can remember as a kid at 9 years old, 8 years old or something like that, my mama used to have these like wooden shoes. They was like slides, but they was made out of wood. And they used to make this loud ass noise when she'd walk in them. And I can remember me trying them on and putting them on. That was not an indicator to my mother that I wanted to be a woman. I'm just saying. Right. MW said, my nephew been pretending to be a dinosaur for weeks now. My son thinks he's a tiger. He will growl and roar at your ass in a heartbeat. Just saying. My son will be like, roar. Oh, guess he's going to be a lion. Let's go ahead and start preparing for it now. No. There are plenty of things. Just like when you see a kid playing with a baby doll. That does not mean that this boy wants to be a girl. So why would I then prepare a lifestyle for my kid to be that? That's not being free or giving your kid freedom of choice. No. If my kid wants to be feminine or my daughter wants to be masculine, hey, if that's what she does, that's what she does. I am not going to let her do anything that is going to alter her body, alter her biology, alter her physical body at any point in time until she is an adult. She can do that shit on her own. No, that is not what I want for her. But if she's going to do that, she will do it as an adult. She will not get any help from me as a kid. It won't happen. And why that's so hard to conceive and why that's so hard to understand, I don't know. If my daughter told me, I want to be a stripper, Dad, I'm not going to get a pole put in her fucking bedroom. Say, well, sweetheart, that's not what I want for you. But if you're going to do that, you're going to have to be grown on your own. And that'll be the choice you make. Please change your name, your last name. And that's it. My daughter tells me right now to this day, I'm going to be a doctor. You're goddamn right. Because I put that shit in her when she was a kid. When she was a little kid. She was 5 years old talking about, I want to be a teacher. I said, nope, teachers don't make enough money. You need to be a doctor or a lawyer. She likes to make deals and bargains, which is why I said a lawyer. And she likes to really take care of people. She's a sweetheart. She has a passion for helping people, which is why I said she'd make a damn good doctor. I'm just saying. It's like, why would I do that? Why would I go ahead and encourage my kid to do something that I know is in direct contradiction to their biology? Aside from all of the shit they're going to have to deal with physically, emotionally, psychologically, aside from all that shit, just straight up, plain and simple, okay, you were born a boy. Why would I go and make all these preparations and make all of these things for you to be a girl when in all actuality, your mind could potentially change in 6 weeks or in 6 days or in 6 months or even in 6 years? Why would I do that? It is what it is. Alex said, I want to be a prostitute, Dad. All right, honey, let's get your back page set up right. Let's get you on OnlyFans then, sweetheart. Like, what are we talking about? Well, baby girl, we don't say prostitute nowadays. We say Instagram model. Like, that makes no sense. I'm not going to do that for her. That's a decision she will have to make. And those are preparations she will have to make when she becomes an adult. And I ain't talking about turn 18. I mean an adult. You grown when you on your own. That shit rhymes for a reason. The on your own and grown. When you got that part, then you're grown. You can actually grow and be on your own that's when you're grown. When you can go do shit on your own, you grown. I mean, I can buy my own, I can feed my own self, I can do all that shit on my own, drive my own, then you're grown. Till then, you're an adult living in my house. Fuck you talking about.
I swear to God, you're making it seem like it's far more complicated than it is. You can just say, here is someone who was born a boy. Mm-hmm. They don't feel comfortable being a boy. They don't feel like they're right in their body and in their mind. They feel more comfortable with playing with the girls. Yeah. They like playing with the dolls and the makeup and whatever it may be that
Well,
you know.
That's
That's exposing them to. That's exposing them to like mental issues at such a young age.
Yeah.
So you think being trans is a mental issue?
Yes.
Of course it is. It's not a it's not a biological one.
You don't have to say, of course.
Yeah,
take it down a notch.
No, but
Now you hear? Now just watch her and watch how she talks with him now.
it's true. It's not a biological one.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mental one, right? If you think you're something that you're actually not, that's in your head.
Just like you think you're a 10 out of 10. What?
I never said that. You think you're 11 out of 10, which is in your head. So what I'm trying to say is, if you're talking about something that isn't, if we can,
You see how she couldn't respond back to what he said as far as the factual part? And she had to come back with a cheap shot or an insult, whatever the case may be. That's my point. When someone is talking with you and someone is having a conversation with you, or you're debating something or arguing something, if they cannot directly respond to what you said with some type of fact or some type of logic, and they have to respond to you with either another question, or they got to respond to you with an insult, or they got to respond to you with something that is totally off topic, or they respond with some very 1 in a million outlier type response, then you know they're full of shit. That's just what it is. And they don't have an answer for you. And their case is usually weak, and it's usually not the right thing. That what they're saying is usually not the correct thing.
look in your body and we can see you have 2 testicles and a penis, we know what you are, right? If you think you are other than what you actually are, that's something going on in your head, right?
Because couldn't I identify as a teenager if I wanted to?
Trans age, they call it.
No, I'm serious. Like,
No, I've gone into this.
What if I said I feel 17?
Yeah.
I am 17.
Well, that would genuinely be something that you'd have to work with. And being someone who studies psych,
Yeah.
that would more than likely be a trauma response.
What? So did you hear what she just said? And I'm gonna tell you like this. I really can't say nothing bad about what Pearly things is saying. She said, well, couldn't I make that same argument with transageism? Couldn't I say, well, hey, I know biologically I'm 41, but I feel like I'm 9. I feel like I'm 22. I feel like I'm 17. That's my feeling. Yes, you can say what my age is, but I know who I am and who I feel, how old I feel. That's what it is. I was born to be a forever 15-year-old. I was born to be forever 21. And I ain't talking about the damn stove. That's just what it is. It's the exact same argument. And her response was, I've studied psych. And because I've studied psych, I would say that's a trauma issue. By that logic, shout out to Tommy Sotomayor. That would be the same thing for you. If you feel as though you are biologically a man, but you were born a woman, I would say that that's some type of trauma that you've had. You didn't say that at 2. You didn't say it at 3. So there was some trauma that must have taken place, because I study psych, so I would know that too.
Because
So is transgenderism a trauma
I was
response?
not done speaking. People who struggle with their age, at least, right? Who still feel like they're stuck in their teen years or even childhood years.
Now you just watch how she does that, how she treats him and how she treats her. Because she never once says anything to her when she's asked a question or says something. Never once said that response or something like that.
Usually experience some sort of terrible trauma at that age in their life, and that's where they feel emotionally and physically stunted.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, maybe later on they still act a certain way for years.
But it's interesting because you're kind of saying like that's a.
Yeah, she did just cut off, and watch her don't say shit about I'm not finished speaking. She did cut off. Just saying.
That's like a mental disorder. A little
Yeah,
bit.
no, I can say that with peace.
Yeah.
But
trans wouldn't be.
So trans wouldn't be.
I can't see it that way because
Why?
I'm someone who's part of the LGBT community.
Yeah.
And I see how these people struggle, and like, you know, like people tend to make the argument that
That's an emotional response. It's not a logical one.
do you want to answer or not?
Yeah, but it's an, emotional response.
Yes, it's a yes or no.
You see what she's doing? And I'm telling you like this. The other woman hasn't done it. The other woman hasn't said that. And the other woman has cut her off just like she's cut her off, just like she's cut him off, and just like he's cut her off. There's been a cutoff fest going on. But as far as the energy and the response that she gives back to him, why is it so aggressive and angry? I would say that maybe she's had some type of trauma and she has an issue with men. I'm just saying. I've studied psych. I'm just saying. I've studied psych. I would think that she probably has had some type of trauma or she has some type of issue with men, and that's why she's saying that. But just look at how she acts.
No question.
It's
a yes or no question.
It's not a logical one.
It's a yes or no question.
Oh my God. Let's talk about the facts, not the feelings, please.
Guys, get along.
Let's talk about the facts, not the feelings. It's like,
regardless, these things were removed from the DSM-5.
Yeah.
Being transgender. Gender dysphoria is still in there, I believe.
Right.
And they're working on the DSM-6, I believe. If not, it's already out. But it's difficult to pinpoint that as a mental illness only because this is a whole... this is something that someone's willing to change their entire life for.
I
right?
could change my entire life to be 17.
I mean, shit, you
listen,
could try.
Rachel,
You could try.
Hang on, Rachel Dolezal changed her entire life to be black.
Oh my gosh. Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
Right? She was head of the NAACP and she was a white woman.
Yeah.
So just because she identified...
First of all, let's give it up for this brother for actually making a clear and concise point. I'm proud of you, bro. Thank you. Thank you so much, man. Good job. You finally came through. You finally did. Yes, he finally did. Congratulations. I'm just saying. But she just made that same point of just saying, I could arrange my life to be a fucking 17-year-old. I won't look it. I could have surgeries to try to look it, but I'm never going to be that. I can have you address me as such. I can have you treat me as such. I can have you use certain words and pronouns to address, but I will never be that. Rachel Dolezal got crucified because she did it. She thought and she felt like she was black. She lived her life like she was black. Only thing she didn't do was get on Section 8 and have some kids out of wedlock. I'm just saying. But everything else, she covered it. I'm just saying. And I would address this too. The outspoken, what's his name? Outspoken introvert. He says black women low level, like have a disdain for black men. Black women low level disdain for men. Let me tell you something. It's more than just a disdain. It's a lack of value of black men. It's a lack of value. And here's why I say that. The things that I value as a person, I treat differently. I value my children more than other children. However, it's not that I hate them, but I will not mistreat a child, but I treat my children better than I would treat another child. However, the things that I don't like, that I do not value, if I don't value something, then I am quick to anger. I am quick to not support. I will not listen to. I will not work with. I will not hang around. I will not put my time, my energy, or my resources into something that I do not value. And that is the problem that I see with black men and black women today, especially the younger ones, to the point to where that's why it's such a low marriage rate. That's why black men and black women ain't getting married to each other, not even a fraction of what we used to. Black women find no value in black men. It's that thing that they will take unless you are a celebrity, unless you have a certain resource or something like that that a black woman wants. Other than that, you won't get that same sense of value that you will get. And here's what I'm comparing that to other races. Stop me when I'm lying. Stop me when I'm lying. It's a value thing. And it's something that has been taught, and it's something that has been passed down from generation to generation, which is why you have so many single black women who are literally take pride in being a single black mother. I'm doing it by myself. I'm mother and father. That's just what it is. And they'll raise their kids to be the same, if not worse. Then when they get old, or what I say, once they become old hoes, then they want to settle down. They want to get married. They want to have all of these unrealistic ultimatums that they want to put on men in order for them to have any access to them sexually, to have any access to them as far as dating or whatever. If you can't do this, this, and this, and be willing to marry me and adopt my 6 kids, don't even look my way. Okay? I can do bad all by myself. Hello. That's what you get. And you know what I say to that?
Shit.
Identifies or thought of herself as black doesn't mean that she is.
But that doesn't make these people any less human. I think that's what I'm trying to...
See how after the point that was made and how she made a point, Pearl, and then how he made a point, literally contradicting what she was trying to say, then she went off into what? Something that totally didn't have anything to do with the topic. Bing, bing bong.
We're not talking. That's what I'm saying. You're talking from an emotional standpoint. I never said trans people or whoever you are less human. They are human beings. They deserve their rights as a human being. But it doesn't mean that what they're saying.
Even respect their identity is the issue. So if a trans person
What do you mean respect their identity?
If somebody were to come to you right now, they were trans. They once were she and became he, and you knew this, would you refer to them as what they are comfortable with or what they were originally born as?
I would refer to them as who they are, which is a man or a woman biologically, because what you're asking me to do essentially.
So then that's just disrespectful.
No, it's not
that's
disrespectful.
Blatant disregard.
No, I'll tell you what's disrespectful. What's disrespectful for me is to ask me to buy into your delusion. That's what I think is disrespectful. If I come up to you and say, listen, I know I'm a black man, but please call me Mei Ling because I'm now a Chinese woman. You're going to be like, all right, you're a Chinese. I'm a Chinese woman, really? And you've met me and you know me prior to me identifying as a Chinese woman. You're now going to call me Mei Ling. I'm now asking you to buy into my delusion. If I feel like this, that's 100% cool. But I shouldn't ask you to buy into what I think of myself. Because like I said, you think of yourself as a 11 out of 10, right?
And again, this is probably the second or third time he'd have made a hell of a point. That's exactly what it is that they're saying. And the fact that they can't see that, but they still want you to basically buy into the lie and agree with them. I can't tell you what you choose to call yourself is just that. But for you to ask me to call yourself something that you are not, If I ask you to do it for me and tell, like he said, if I say that I'm an Asian female and to call me Mei-Ling, you will not do that. Or you'll laugh at it. Or you'll joke with it. You won't do it.
If you went around asking people
Watch how she
to
responds.
call you an 11 out of 10, then that's just plain arrogant and egotistical. Because you're asking
I
people,
wouldn't do that though.
right? But trans people do.
All I ask is basic respect.
No,
and
but
basic
trans
respect
people
is,
do. They ask people to call them the thing that they know that they actually aren't.
Exactly. Bing bong again.
Bing bong.
He's made a hell of a point. He's on a roll now. That's exactly what's happening. And they want to say, yeah, but they have this mentality to where they're saying, yeah, but it's different though. It's different though. No, it's not. It is the same thing. It's the same thing.
it's
Or
not
the
that,
way
it's
they see
not-
themselves.
It's genuinely not that hard to just refer to them as she, her, or he, him as they ask, and by the name that they choose to go by. It's genuinely not that hard. My name is Francesca, right? But I go by Cheska. That is my preferred name.
Yeah.
All I have to do is tell you, hey, this is what I prefer to be called. Feel free to call me this.
Right.
And it would be up to you to call me Cheska. I would, like I said, I would prefer it. If you call me Francesca, I'm not going to respond because realistically, I don't like that name as much as Cheska. It's that simple.
Shooting in your name.
So now she's trying to compare this to a nickname or the shortening of her name. Like Richard, Rick. That's exactly what she's saying. William, Will, Robert, Bob, Robert, Rob. That's what she's trying to say the same thing as. Francis, Frank. Right. James, Jim, David, Dave, Alexandria, Alex, Michael, Mike. That's what you're trying to compare this to now. You've reduced your argument to your point to just basically a shortening of a name or a nickname. You're trying to compare that to the same thing as pronouns. No. Because if there's a woman named Michelle, she's not going to say, call me Mike. But if she says, call me Shell, I get that. It's like, come on, man. But the fact that there's not a lot of arguing, there's not a lot of yelling and screaming, and they're just actual points being made. She's the only one not making logical, factual points. She's talking about outliers. She's talking about the extreme. That's all she does. And then she goes back to feelings. And then she talks about the 1% or the one exception to the rule, trying to make it the rule. And when you have that type of argument, you can't win an argument. You just can't.
It's a respect thing. It's
not. Shooting in your name, yeah, is not the same as asking me to call you by a totally different gender.
Okay, so
there's no part of you that is that gender.
If they preferred a different name, even you wouldn't go with that.
If they preferred it, like I said, you're asked. I'm not about to.
If they went with a different name,
I am not buying into someone's delusion.
Yes or no?
Say again.
It's really not that hard of a question. I
if
promise
they ask me to call, if they are,
and there's the insult. Now she's insulting his intelligence. She's never done it to Pearl, but there she goes.
Ask me to call them a name.
If I came to you and I said I prefer the name Richard, even though I clearly am not biologically male.
I'll be like, what do your parents call you?
Okay,
what did your parents
You're
name
not
you?
my parents, so you wouldn't have a right to call me
What
by
was your
whatever.
name
You
before
wouldn't
you
have the right
asked me to call you
You
Richard?
wouldn't have the right to call me by whatever my parents call me because my parents are different from you. You're just a 40-year-old man, okay? You're just a stranger that I see on the podcast.
Do not touch me.
That's true. That's true. You're not. I would not say what do your parents call you, but just like she said, you're not my parents. So therefore, what my parents call me is just that. You're not my parents, so you're right. I don't have to. I shouldn't have to ask you that. However, just as much as I'm not your parents, then I should have the right to decide to choose to engage into calling you something that I clearly see that you're not, just because that's what you're asking. Because if your parents called you Big Dick Daddy, I wouldn't call you that because that's something to me that I choose not to use because I think that that's something that's derogatory or it's something that is makes me uncomfortable. So why not call you what it is that you actually are? What your biology says. Why not do that? Now, if we homeboys, we personal friends, we good friends, whatever the case may be, whatever that is, if I'm your friend and I know you personally and I choose to engage in what it is that you're asking me to call you, then that's a choice based on our friendship, based on our relationship. But if I am a stranger, how do you have the right to put me in a particular category or to hold me hostage to call you something that is a clear contradiction as to what you actually are? Calvin, it's shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right. Need to be right and guilt.
Now.
You're just a stranger that I see on a podcast.
So Cheska, like, okay. So I honestly, if I knew someone,
Do you know what we call that? We call that sign language over here.
If I knew someone that was trans, I probably would call them by their name, like just because they asked me to. But the issue I get is when we start letting people live in delusion, there's consequences.
Correct.
And I really do, on some level, think that it's delusional because you're saying you're something you're not.
But
and the problem is now we have Leah Thomas coming in.
Who's that?
Leah Thomas, the
swimmer.
The swimmer.
Okay.
And swimming in the women's division. And taking away opportunities from women, like real biological women, because in my opinion, we started by letting them live in delusion.
Okay.
And it slowly got to the point that now actual real women are losing opportunities in athletics.
Right.
Okay.
Right. That's what happens when you live in. That's what happens when you say, "Oh, but they feel a certain way, so we have to respect it."
Genuinely,
it has real world consequences.
As much as I would love to, give a viewpoint on that, I can't.
Okay.
Because one, I'm not trans.
Yeah.
I feel like I can't speak on it until I speak to other trans people who are athletes as well as cisgender people who are athletes and see how they feel about it. And two, I'm still curating my research on that because I'll be honest, throughout high school, I felt that way.
Yeah.
I was like, why the hell are trans people ending up in divisions that I feel like they're not supposed to be? I realized that
So
was
that happened
me.
at your school?
No. I realized that it was me denying their identity in a sense, right? I know that realistically, no matter what, this person was born opposite of what they are, but I do not want to deny how they feel and what they've experienced since more than likely such a young age about what they identify as.
It's just like how when people have like pet names. Yeah, you may like to be called your pet name around your friends and family, but when you go on a job interview, you not gonna go and introduce yourself as man. Yeah, everybody call me man. I'm not gonna go on a job interview and say, yeah, call me man, sir. I don't know what your name is, but call me man. It's the same thing. It's like to people that are complete strangers to you, you should not give two shits about about them calling you what you feel you identify as. You just shouldn't. And just like how they were talking about the swimmer and the person that's killing it in all of the swimming records and all that shit, he is actually knocking out women that are actually could be competing on a certain level and making it because he's swimming and breaking all of their records because he is biologically a male. Regardless of how he feels, he's biologically a male, which gives him a superior advantage. He has a bigger bone structure. His bones are denser. He's physically larger. He has more stamina. He is a more physical human being. He's more superior physically as a human. Straight biology, aside from what he's feeling that he is as a gender. It makes no sense. Exactly, right. Imagine what Caitlyn Jenner would have done in the Olympics running as a female in his prime. Because at the end of the day, that's a man, baby. Yeah. Imagine what Caitlyn Jenner would have done in the Olympics as a runner if he was running and competing as a female. Right. Imagine what Michael Phelps would do in swimming if he was competing as a female. He would literally have every single record by such a large margin that it would never get broken by another biological female. Right. I'll play this game. We can play this game for a minute. Imagine Mike Tyson boxing as a female in his prime. He would have never lost, and he would probably have the fastest knockout would probably be 3 seconds. And the only reason why I say 3 seconds, because it would take 2 seconds to get to the middle of the ring where the boxer is, where the other female boxer would be. Imagine Tiger Woods competing as a female in golf. Right, John. You look at Nate Robinson in the WNBA. I mean, they proved the point in Joanna Man. It proved the point there. You take the worst 5 players on the worst team in the NBA, and you put those worst 5, the last 5 bench players on the worst team in the NBA, and you put them in the WNBA, they'd win the championship. They would win the championship. You take the worst 5 rookies in the college that's entering the draft. You take them and put them in the WNBA, they'd win the championship. That's just what it is. So why would you try to discount and act like none of that matters and none of that exists when it actually does, and it matters to the degree to say, hey man, there's a difference between these two motherfuckers, period. Regardless of how you may feel, there is a physical biological difference between these two species. Let's make sure we acknowledge that. There's a difference between a male lion and a female lion. Are they both lions? Yes, but they are not the same. And the fact that you're trying to make me think that they are, you're the one that's crazy, not me. There's something wrong with you for trying to make me not acknowledge the biological, physical difference between a female and a male. Alex says, I think one sport that is safe is pole dancing. I don't know. You get you some thin, muscular niggas on a pole. When it comes to doing pole tricks, it may not be entertaining. It may not be something you may want to see. But the physical aspects of getting up on a pole, climbing a pole, and hey, I don't know. I ain't never had the desire to do that, so I wouldn't know. Now, would you see a man maybe slide down and let his package slap the base of a stage? Nope. I'm just saying. The physical aspects of those things, they matter. Period. They do. Now, in some instances, when you're talking about just other things as far as that are not, when you're not dealing with the physical part of it, there are some things that a woman can do. They can do it. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're the best at it or they're better than men at it, but there's some things that a woman can do just as good as a man to some degree. But that doesn't mean just because she can't be the greatest of it of all time, doesn't mean that that's not valued. It just doesn't. Even when you look at just there's a reason why you're biologically made that way. There's a reason why we're biologically made different. And it's because of the yin and yang. It is because of the attraction. What men see in women is different than what women see in men. It just is. And that doesn't make it less than. It just makes it different. And we have such a problem with that in America. In the world, hell, we all have to do the same, be the same, think the same, and feel the same. If not, it's not that we can't be different, but if we're different, we look at that as being an enemy. And I don't understand why we've gotten to that point. If we're supposed to be progressive and we're supposed to be transitioning and becoming the best version of ourselves, why would it not be okay to be different? Don't have to be the same. You don't have to feel the same way I do. You can be different.
But at the same time, like I have to look at the science behind this, right? Like, because
now she's looking at science. Okay.
I've seen a lot of trans people come out and say, like, listen, my body has changed completely, specifically with women, at least trans women. They're like, I don't understand why people get so upset about trans women entering women's divisions, because estrogen really does break down our like muscle mass and like our strength that we had as not men previously.
Not their bone density though.
No, I'm sure.
Bing bong.
Bing bong.
So she tried to make, and I respect her for this. She actually made a point that was factually based and based in science. She talked about how estrogen changes some of the physical attributes of the body. Yes, but old Pearly knows her stuff. And she came right back with, but it doesn't change bone density. So those freakishly long arms that I may have as a man, like I'm what's Phil Jackson? Phil Jackson arms was so fucking long that he could literally sit in his car, with both doors open on the passenger side and driver's side, and he could reach out and grab them both and close them, sitting in the driver's seat. His wingspan was that long to where he could literally do that. Somebody else who has a long ass wingspan, Scottie Pippen. That's one of the reasons why he was so good on defense. Scottie had a large fucking wingspan. How many women do you know with a big ass fucking wingspan like Scottie Pippen or Phil Jackson? I'm just saying. How many times have we acknowledged that in a female? Like, damn, boy, you see Serena Williams' wingspan? Boy, that bitch arms is long. You will never see that. We don't look for that. We just don't. Because it's not a normal attribute of a woman to have unusually large wingspans. Could you find one that may have it? Yup. I don't know how attractive she would be, but you could definitely find one. But that's not a normal trait. It's not something that men normally look at. Just like women and asses. How many men have you known? How many times have you heard a motherfucker say, but she got ass though? Look at her ass. Her ass so big. Her ass is so fat. Ooh, she got the fattest ass ever. Plenty of dudes do it. That's just something that men look at. Not my cup of tea. I'm not an ass man. I just don't be like, ooh, she got a big old ass. She got a motherfucking pep on, Joe. That shit it's just not, that's not how my attraction level don't do that. It don't do it for me. Here's what it is. But when you see women, do you see women saying the same thing about men? That nigga ass fat as fuck, Joe. Ooh, girl, you see that nigga ass? His ass is fat. It's like that nigga got a pamper on and he took a shit in it. Ever heard that before? Now you may hear a woman say, oh, he got a nice butt. Oh, I like the way his butt is shaped. He got a muscular butt. You might hear that, but you don't hear women solely judging men based on their ass. But you'll see a woman say, look at that dick though. Y'all seen them videos and them on Facebook where the dude take a fucking English cucumber or some shit like that and he put it in his sweatpants or put it in his pants and look like his dick is down to his knee and he just walking by having general conversation with a woman and she not only is she just trying to like talk to him, she trying to go and fuck trying to see that dick right now. Like, why don't we go here? We go to my crib or you live around here? You see a dude who that's why niggas is wearing gray sweatpants taking selfies in the mirror. Because that's what a woman will literally judge you on that. Just like a man will say she got big tits, so would a woman say he got a big dick and will literally judge you on that. A woman don't say, damn, you see his calves? Girl, did you see his calf? Woo, his calf was so big. That's not a thing that they do. They don't judge men on that. Niggas are more likely to talk about a nigga with some skinny legs than a woman. Like, damn, nigga, you just said fuck skipping. You just skipping leg day every week, huh, nigga? You hear it all the time. Like, damn, niggas say that all the time. Man, look at this nigga. This nigga look like he Johnny Bravo or something. Nigga just skipped leg day. What's the rapper dude that had the plastic surgery done? I meant to talk about that in one of my monologues. That rapper dude, he went and had his abs done because he couldn't get his abs right. He worked out, couldn't get his abs right. And he had his abs sculpted, had some lipo and shit done. And niggas on the internet was clowning him. But wait, bitches do it every day. Yes, black dude. Women do that shit every day. But a man does it, and even the men, niggas was dogging them. Oh hell nah, bro, you nah, bro, you man, I can't believe that nigga did that shit, man. Niggas ain't, boy, these niggas, boy, niggas is trash, nigga. You took the easy way out, nigga. Nigga, you ain't shit. Nigga doing that shit to his motherfucking self, boy. What kind of nigga is that? But you got a bitch putting fixer flat in her ass to make it fat for y'all niggas. Hold on, I'm about to find it right quick because I got it right here in my in this feed in my text messages. But it's like all of the fake shit that women wear, and women had the nerve to go in on a man who did it. So the 30 million motherfucking women that do the shit, okay, the one man that does it, oh, this the worst nigga ever. Here you go. Let me see what this nigga name is. Oh, no, that's just the picture. Dude name is Bandman Kevo. Look his shit up. Let me see if I can show it to y'all. Hold on. There we go. That nigga literally went and had some motherfucking plastic surgery done and got his abs done, all that shit. There it is. And niggas went the fuck in on him. Went in on him. Same thing though, right? Yeah. Now, is there something that I'm like, man, all dudes should go do that shit? Nope. I ain't doing it. I just value myself to the point to where I'm not going to do it. I understand if somebody else does it. It's just not my thing. We're different. Oh, you can even see that picture. There you go. Of them actually doing it. Yep. There it is. And I even commented on it. I put in there like, it's odd to me how the internet goes in on a man who did something to his body that tons of women do to their bodies daily. Why are black men the first motherfuckers in line to go in on another black man, but won't say shit to women who will literally kill themselves doing the same shit? Tell me where I lied at. And this is how you look afterwards. And you see the picture? There go the picture that the motherfuckers was comparing them to. Yep. Go look it up. Same thing.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying, like, I have to do more research on it first before I can really curate an idea on it. But I'm kind of teetering with it because I could understand. Like, I used to feel that way genuinely. Like, I was like, yo, I'm a girl and I feel like I'm fighting for my fucking life. And it's already hard enough as a black girl at that, right? Like, we have to deal with bullshit from both racism and sexism. Yeah.
Well, I just think it's like disrespectful to honestly real women, like women that were born that way, because we go through shit they'll never go through.
They'll never go for a smear test.
Yeah, they'll never understand like
what do we deem a real woman though?
But like,
I'm just curious.
What's a real woman? A woman that was born
biologically
with a what is it? X and
a womb,
or
XY, XX, sorry,
XX chromosome and a womb. And I know they're gonna like bring out exceptions to the rule. Where, like,
intersex people, that's what they do.
Argument, but or the few girls that have fertility issues, but that's very different than surgically changing a dick into a vagina.
No, I hear you. I hear you. I think, again, like, because I'm part of the community, I have more insight on how they feel about it.
Yeah.
Feelings, nothing more than feelings. But just like JB just said, short hair, short nails, a must. Comes right back and says, man, abs like that are overrated. I can tell you this. Plenty of women will go crazy over a man with abs. Hence, how does it feel? The D'Angelo video. Women went insane over that video. It was one of the most requested videos on the jukebox. Y'all remember jukebox? Because of what? His abs were showing, and it was so close in a video of a man's dick being shown that, hey, women lost their motherfucking minds over that video. Still do to this day. D'Angelo fat as fuck, but motherfuckers still go crazy over that video. See, there you go. I love abs. There it is. And my thing is this. It's just different. Abs for you as a woman could be big tits to a man. Big shoulders and big biceps in a gun show to women could just be an athletic body frame, body style to a man. Some men might like a bodybuilding type of, athletic type of, muscular type of woman. Some men won't. But my thing is, for women, you will totally disqualify a man for not having that thing that it is that you like. And if a man does it, he's shallow. He's he's a self-hater, or he ain't worth it no way. It's like he's shaming. He's a body shamer. A woman will disqualify a man for not being tall enough. A woman will disqualify a man for not having a muscular body. A woman will disqualify a man, instantly, like not even think twice. Not even think twice. For just those things, your ass is out the box. You ain't got a chance, player. Why? Because you ain't 6 feet. You got to be 6'5". Just saying. That's what a woman will do. You have women that say they size queens. I'm a size queen. You got to have at least 9 inches for me. Disqualified. When's the last time you heard a man say that? I'm a size king. You got to have a tight ass pussy for me, girl. It got to be, super tight. You got to only have like 2 centimeters. If this is more than 2 centimeters, girl, fuck that. Go on, get your ass on. Just saying. Right, Manuel Dubois said, imagine a man going on Tinder like, hey, I only look for 160 pounds or less. Or a man saying 120 pounds or less. That's actually the average. That's the average size of a woman supposed to be 120 pounds. Do you realize how many, and just in America alone, how many women are on the other side of that scale? Paul, please, with this gigolo shit. Enough. God damn. We almost 3 hours now. This dude's still bringing that shit up. But I'm just saying, the joke didn't land. It's not landing. Like, stop it. Your ass was on Apollo. Sandman came out an hour and a half ago. Actually, 2 hours ago, Sandman came out. But when you just talk about those different things that a person will instantly be disqualified for, from a male's perspective and from a female's perspective, men are far more forgiving than women. Because any deficiency that a man has, the only 2 things that a man can do to actually, what do you call it? To balance out whatever deficiency he has, money or status. That's it. Or money and power. Well, money, power, and status. You can say those three. That's it. You too short, you gotta have money, power, or status. You too fat, you gotta have money, power, or status. You too ugly, you gotta have money, power, or status. Dick too small, you gotta have money, power, or status. Stop me when I'm lying. Just saying. Flip it on the other side. And I'm just talking about saying just to have sex. We're just talking about sexual marketplace. That's it. For women, a woman could be fat, she can still get dick. A woman could be ugly, she can still get dick. A woman could be broke, she can still get dick. A woman can have no status, she can still get dick. A woman can have a bunch of kids, she can still get dick. And even taking it a step further, all of those things that a woman could have, those things that would be considered negative, she could still get a man to be with her, wife her, be with her, marry her, whatever the fucking case may be. It's all on who she chooses to decide, who she decides to be with. Now, will that man be a man that has all of those things, that money and that power and that status? No, but definitely she could get one. Do you know how many men would just like to have somebody that they could fuck? Do you know how many men would just want to have someone that they could have sex with? There are plenty of men that are not having sex because they can't get a woman. They have to have money to pay for sex. That's the only way. I can go find me a hoe, but I can't meet nobody at the Walmart and talk to her, and then she just, will have sex with me without wanting one of those three things. Just what it is. Brian, you saying a man has to be a high value man? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the majority of women want high value men. And literally, they work their way down from a high value man as they age out. So at 20, that bitch want 6 feet, 6 figures, 6-pack. At 20. At 40, she just want a nigga that'll come home, that'll be home by 6, that'll give her $60, and that'll buy her a 6-pack of wine coolers. Hey, shit. I'm just saying, that's just that's what happens. That's what happens, right? That's sort of home. That's exactly what happens over time. The older she gets, the further she gets away from that 666 thing, and those 666s changes, and those standards change. And by the time she ages out, she's knocking on 50, all of that shit goes to the wayside because she now realizes I either need to change my standards or I will be alone forever. And it'll just be me and my grandkids and my dog or my cat or my birds. And that's it. Options drying up just like that pussy is. You right, Mike Jones. She realized it. No, it's 6 feet, 6 figures, and 6-pack, as in abs. You said you like abs. That's what they call it, the six abs. Yep. That's just what it is. And it's like as they get older, that's what happens. But by that time, a man that is the same age as them has more options, because usually as a man gets older, he makes more money in his career. So therefore, that 6 figures that he didn't have at 25, he got now at 45. So now that man that's 45 can actually get that woman who says, I want my 6 figures right now. Yup. Now he may not be able to get a 10, but if the majority of women are looking for that man that is making 6 figures and at least 6 feet, he now has more options at 45 than that woman does at 45, because he can provide at least 2 out of those 3 things. Nigga may not have a 6-pack, but shit, he can buy a lot of 6-packs when he making well over 6 figures. That's just what it is. And it's like when a woman sees that, because she can't get at 25 or at 20 or whatever the case may be, yeah, that woman may not be able to find that man that got the 666, because all of the women in her age group are competing for that same 6'6". So she'd be like, well, damn, this nigga ain't got the abs, but he got the other 2. Yup, I'll give him some pussy. There it is. That's just what it is.
And I can go off of that better, as opposed to the.
But like I said, this isn't how you feel.
I'm not done talking.
I know you're not, but I'm just letting you know. This isn't,
I don't want to hear you right now. When I'm done speaking,
it's not about how you feel.
When I'm done speaking, listen.
Why are you talking about feelings? We're talking about facts.
Bro, you're gonna have to stop him before I do.
He's
what are you
just
gonna
asking
do?
you a question. I don't think he's.
What you gonna do?
You see how she did the same thing? And she literally just said, she's just asking you a question. And she's like so fucking pissed off at this dude right now, because he's saying, you keep talking about feelings. Let's talk about the facts.
Listen, what are you trying to do?
Nothing. I'm just asking the question.
So it's a we're all talking, right?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We've been able to interact fine. Yeah. And if we cut each other off, we're like, all right, like Gucci, like, oh wait, my bad, like whatever.
I just don't.
She has never once said, Gucci, all right, my bad. She never once said that. Out of all the times that Pearl has cut her off, she's never said that. She's only had a problem with him cutting her off. She's been okay cutting her off. She's been okay with herself cutting him off, but she's only had a problem with him. And I'm telling you like this, I'm going to go as far as to say, if there was a white man on this panel or a man of another race on this panel too, she wouldn't have had a problem with him either.
Motherfucker here just keep popping in like a fucking weasel. Like,
you just don't like being cut off by a man. That's what it is.
Like, it is so irritating.
You don't like being cut off by a man.
No, because you keep on saying like, oh, facts over feelings, facts over feelings. Like, no, like at least when Pearl is interrupting me, she's saying like, oh wait, but like this is what I see. This is what I know. So you're just saying no, facts over feelings.
What if he puts but facts over feelings?
Yeah. What if I say but facts over feelings? Yeah. What about if I?
She doesn't even realize that Pearl is like making fun of her too. Like, you're literally taking this too far. You're making way more out of this than what it is. And like I said, this is the difference. And when we're talking about, and I'm saying it like it is, when you look at this over and over and time again, and when you put different races in this, we're the worst at it. Because you can clearly see that Pearl and the brother, no problem. Black guy Pearl, no problem at all. Pearl and the black woman, no problem at all. Black woman and the black man, instant drama.
That he could get fucking slapped.
I just like do you know what I'm saying?
And
like,
yes,
really?
Now she's gotten physical.
Already hard enough as a black girl at that, right? Like we have to deal with bullshit from both racism and sexism.
Yeah, well, I just think it's like disrespectful to honestly real women, like women that were born that way, because we go through shit they'll never go through.
They'll never go for a smear test.
Yeah, they'll never understand like
what do we deem a real woman though? I'm just curious.
What's a real woman? A woman that was born
biologically
with a what is it? X and
a womb,
or
XY, XX, sorry,
XX chromosome in a womb, and I know they're gonna like bring out exceptions to the rule where like
intersex people. That's what they do.
Argument, but or the few girls that have fertility issues, but that's very different than surgically changing a dick into a vagina.
And please click that like button.
No, I hear you. I hear you. I think, again, like, because I'm part of the community, I have more insight on how they feel about it. Yeah. And I can go off of that better as opposed to the
like I said, opposite. This isn't how you feel.
I'm not done talking.
I know you're not, but I'm just letting you know this
I don't want to hear you right now. When I'm done speaking,
it's not about how you feel.
When I'm done speaking, listen.
Why are you talking about feelings? We're talking about facts.
Bro, you're going to have to stop him before I do.
He's what just asking you a question. I don't think he's...
What you going to do?
No, listen, what are you trying to do?
Nothing. I'm just asking the question.
So it's a we're all talking, right?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We've been able to interact fine. Yeah. And you know, if we cut each other off, we're like, all right, like Gucci, like, oh wait, my bad, like whatever.
I just don't
this
think
motherfucker right here just keep popping in like a fucking weasel. Like
you just don't like being cut off by a man. That's what it is.
Like it is so irritating.
You don't like being cut off by a man.
No, because you keep on saying like, oh, facts over feelings. Like no, like at least when Pearl is interrupting me, she's saying like, oh wait, but like this is what I see. This is what I know. You're just saying no, facts over feelings.
What if he puts butt facts over feelings?
What if I say facts over feelings? Yeah, what about if I do that?
Then he could get fucking slapped.
I just like do you know what I'm saying?
There she goes with the vibe.
And I think what he's trying to say is like their feelings about it don't really matter.
She ain't gonna slap me.
It's all about like.
But if we functioned off of only logic and reality, we would be a heartless society. Genuinely, I believe that.
I don't know. I think
currently
the second place Leah Thomas, the girl that got second to Leah Thomas would be cool right now.
If we only went by logic and facts, we would be a heartless society. I believe that is logic and facts that have actually allowed us to build a society. The fact that we are logical has allowed us to become civilized. Because if we were all about our feelings, if I felt like I hate your ass, then fuck you forever. If I felt like I just don't like you, then that's just what happens. If I felt like slavery was just too profitable to give up, then there you go. I guess we just gonna keep these slaves. There was logic that had to take place and reasoning that had to take place in order for us to develop as a society, in order for us to become more civilized. Had it not been for logic, there would be no 19th Amendment. Had there been no logic, there wouldn't be an opportunity for us to acknowledge the fact that there are differences between us. Doesn't make us less than, it only makes us different.
Listen,
okay.
How many times have we
balance is needed. Okay,
how many times have we looked at like politicians, for example, just going based off of their emotions, sheer emotions?
Yeah.
Like, and not
politicians are going off of greed and power, lust thereof. Wanting more power, wanting more money is what drives politicians to make the decisions that they make. That's money and power. It's not facts and logic. That's money and power. Beto O'Rourke has ran for every goddamn thing he could run for more power and more money. Has nothing to do with logic. He's not logically trying to he's not trying to become the governor because of logic. He's trying to become the governor because he wants power, because he wants money. Nancy Pelosi is not the Speaker of the House because it's just a logical choice. No, it's the logical choice to gain more power and more money. That's why she's worth $200 million.
Even in a not even close to logical sense, you can find a balance between emotion and logic.
Yeah.
You can find a common ground. I fully
but
understand.
Look at her.
No, but not on certain things.
Do you see how she's acting?
Anyway, we can find a balance between emotion and logic. I do believe that there are times where we have too much logic and too much emotion.
Right.
No. And I don't know why he's saying it's about right. No. The problem is your decision making. You should not decide solely upon emotion. You should not decide solely upon logic. You need to go through your emotions and then make a logical decision. We go wrong when we make decisions that we haven't gone through the emotional part of it. And when we only go through the emotional part of it and we decide on it then. This person said something I don't like. It made me feel some type of way. So now I'm going to react. It's the logic and the facts that make you change your mind, hence for changing your reaction to those things or to what was said or to what made you feel some type of way. That's why when people say things that I don't understand or things that may instantly offend me, I will say, well, can you clarify? Can you better articulate what it is you're trying to say? When you get to a point to where your decision making is just based on your feelings, that's where you're making the wrong decisions. I feel like I should do this. However, I need to use some logic and I need to use some facts before I actually decide on what I'm going to do. Yes, this makes me feel some type of way because I care about this thing or this person or this situation. However, before I decide, I still need to approach it from a logical and a factual perspective. What you said to me could offend me, but if it's true, then maybe it's something I need to address with me as opposed to reacting and addressing it with you.
What do you think? What do you think? What do you think that was too much emotion or too much logic? Which one?
I think it was me telling you to shut the fuck up because you don't know how to sometimes.
Do you see her?
But anyway, I said what I said.
All right,
emotion
no, I heard
and
you. I
logic
heard you.
need to go hand in hand in time.
I said what I said.
When there's too much emotion involved.
And I'm gonna tell you this. This woman ain't growing up in the hood. She didn't grow up around, I said what I said. She's using the catchphrases. She's using the trigger words. It's amazing to me how especially black women that didn't grow up in the hood, the minute something don't go their way, they try to act like they did. This bitch talking about, you literally are just going to just make noise so that I can't speak. But this the person who said, I study psych. Right. That's why I don't get crazy over scholars. That's why I don't be like, oh man, this person went to school. Because you see what her education has her doing. Yup. I said what I said. You study psych though. Ain't you supposed to be the psychologist? Shouldn't you be using some of your psych tools to have a conversation? Because I'm quite sure that in psych, there's no class where you learn the tool of, I'm quite sure when you go through psych, there's no class of, well, then you use the tool of, I said what I said. You tell your patient, I said what I said. Just what it is. That's why when people tell you they got their degree, when people tell you they got their masters, when people tell you they got this, they piece of paper up on the wall and all that, that's fine. And you may have learned some things, but that doesn't make you a smarter person than me. Because I think, shout out to Tommy Sotomayor, first person I heard say this, a degree is just that, a degree. It is a degree. What's the difference between an oven turned on to 300 degrees and one turned to 301? 1 degree. Putting the oven on 305 and putting the oven on 306, what's the difference? 1 degree. That's all I'm saying.
People can genuinely get hurt. And when it comes to logic, I feel like logic most of the time you can't go wrong, but sometimes when we're too logical, it can really disregard a group of people or whatever it may be, you know?
Yeah, but that's one of the problems I'm talking about. We're not talking about disregarding people. But that's not what
No,
I'm.
I didn't say that.
Hang on,
Ain't nobody
hang on.
that.
Right.
But the
giving it
fact
back
that
to
people actually think that speaking things that make sense is disregarding people is where we have a problem in the society. Because if somebody is speaking to make sense and you take it as, oh, you're disregarding me. No, like I said, I think these people, trans people, deserve their human rights. I don't think of them as less as a human being. I'm saying when it comes to things like you coming in your, and when it comes, don't speak. When it comes to you going into a sports arena that is not actually meant for you and it's meant for biological women, then we see real world consequences to your feelings and people catering to people's feelings. That's what I'm saying.
But again, I said that I cannot curate an opinion on that until I do more research. I will not open my mouth on something that I don't know shit about at the end of the day. You know, like that would.
And that is the point that I'm making, is that she just, even though she doesn't know anything about it, like she said, she refused to use logic. She refused to use logic. Just because you aren't a scholar in a particular thing, you can still use logic, deductive reasoning, saying, hey, if this is this, then logically speaking, that would mean that this is this. If this man can go and break every fucking swim record in women's swimming history, then that would mean that men, theoretically speaking, are biologically superior and physically superior, I would say physically superior than women. Why would you say that? Because this one man who was a below average swimmer, who was not even at the top of his peers as a male in swimming, he was dead last, went over into this same type of swimming, but it was just females, and he was the best. Logically speaking, men, biologically, from a physical aspect, are superior to women, no matter how many fucking estrogen pills they take. That's it. But you're saying she didn't want to acknowledge that and use logic in that point because she is psych. Because it would have destroyed her argument had she just been a little logical. Because she was the one saying, we sometimes we could be too much logic and too much emotion, too much feelings and too much logic is not good. Right, but you couldn't even give a little bit and be somewhat logical. Being a psych major, I'm psych. Couldn't even do it because it would have destroyed your argument. And I'll pretty much end it with that. And just wrapping this up, like I said, the points that they were both making were literally killing hers. But the biggest thing that I saw in this was the fact that she didn't even have this much respect and or value in that brother, that black man, than she did with the host of the show. And I'm quite sure with any other group, just because they're different. Just because they're different. Because you don't think like me, and because you don't think like me, you're my enemy. And that's exactly what it is with a lot of liberals. And as far as a black woman and black man aspect, we truly, and it pains me to say it, but it's just something that's been shown to me consistently over the years. We truly just don't want to have any type of real value in each other, just as black man, black woman, man, woman. None. And that is sad. That is disheartening. Because it doesn't have to be that way. And we choose to. And when I hear people talking about black excellence and black love and all of that good shit, it's always that huge compromise to where those men are either betas, cooks, and if they together, or they have some type of celebrity, some type of status, some type of power, some type of money. That's the only time that we get that value. And it's sad to see. Because there was a time where you could just be a brother trying to make it and could have a woman that could be your right hand, your partner, your queen, whatever the case may be, your ride or die. She was all that just because of one thing. You were her man. A man. Because back then, women found so much value, especially black women found so much value in a black man, that that's what they wanted. As opposed to being psych, as opposed to having a master's, as opposed to having 5 degrees, 10 degrees, 15 degrees, 20 degrees. They had a black man. And they found an immense amount of value in that. And until we get that back, the family structure will be what it is, if not worse. Our children will be what they are, if not worse. And our community will be what it is, if not worse. And our entire race will continue to decline and get worse. I know this is a long show, but I definitely felt as though I made my point. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. I appreciate it. I know we went a little bit about 3 hours. Yep, 3 hours and 15 minutes. But I want to say thank you to everybody that tuned in. I want to say thank you to everybody that just took the time out to click the like button. If you watching this on the replay, or you watching this on a Monday morning, Monday afternoon, Monday night, or whatever day of the week is you watching it, please, please, please feel free to click that like button. Please, please, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you think, because I definitely would like to know. So I appreciate you guys. I love y'all. Until next time, peace, and I'm out. Shout out to my mods. Shout out to everybody that watched the show tonight. And shout out to Just Pearly Things. And she did a good job. And I wish that we could all be able to have conversations like that, and they be civil. And even if you black, white, Asian, Hispanic, whatever the case may be, that we could all do that. I really hope that we could get to that place, because that is true progress and growth. Shout out to everybody in Soto Nation. Shout out to my brother Tommy Sotomayor. I love you guys. Until next time, peace, and I'm out.
What's going on, everybody out there in the internet world? It's me, Brian Redmond, also known as the Relationship Rehab. And I need you to do 2 things. What are those 2 things? Subscribing to both my channels. I need you to go to the Relationship Rehab, subscribe to that channel, and then I need you to go to United Guns of America and go to that channel. Now you may be asking, why would I do that, Brian? Because it's two of the hottest channels on the internet. Come over there, give me your thoughts, give me your opinions, have conversations, because that's what it's all about. We talk about some of everything. Politics, relationships, guns, law enforcement, community stuff. Anything that's happening, I'm willing to have a conversation about it. So come on over. You don't got nothing else to lose, and you ain't got nothing else to do. So come to my channel, subscribe ASAP, and join in on the fun. Twice the entertainment, 2 channels, twice the fun. Come on and have a funky good time with your boy. Peace, and I'm out.